Hi, everybody. I am Brandon Jones. I'm joined by Brad Ellis. Hey, Brad.
Hi, Brandon.
Hey, Brad.
Brad,
Everybody's like Brad and Jones. Brad and Jones. Brandon
Brad
Jones.
Doyne.
Yeah, Brad. You can call me, please. My father's name is Brad Doyne. It is time for the Easy Allies Community Showcase. How this is going to go is this is the $10 and above tier on patreon.com/easyallies. We have our wonderful community submit all sorts of stuff. This originally started as a show called Community Comments, where we would just read through a bunch of things that our community had to say, a bunch of stuff that is on their mind. And that show has evolved into accepting art pieces. People have drawn some stuff for us today, accepting fun videos that people have made. We have not one, but two, maybe even more sweet guitar licks to enjoy today, Brad. You might see a couple of those instruments hanging behind him. Brad is a fan of the guitar arts, we got some pretty solid guitar playing to look forward to, and we got some voiceover. We got a podcast clip. We got a lot of variety here on the Community Showcase. If you want to be a part of this, again, it's our $10 and above tier. You can go to patreon.com/easyallies to see this stuff. After this stream is over, I'm going to go to that post on patreon.com/easyallies that was put up about a week ago, and I will make that public. Previously, that was just for the people at the 10 and above tier to submit their stuff, and then once this stream is over, I will go back and make that public for everybody, so you can go and re-listen to some of this music because you might want to check it out again. Maybe check out some SoundCloud accounts or YouTube channels of people that are producing this stuff, or just say hello to maybe some people on Twitter, or to let them know that you appreciate the work that you are doing. And thank you to everybody that is just stopping by and hanging out and tuning in to the Community Showcase. I will do my best to bring chat, of course, into this as well. And thank you to our mods and to everybody. We got Dare User X already gave us a resub. Thank you so much. But we got a lot of comments, and we're kicking it off from James Davey, who has been on the Community Showcase before, but I don't believe went in and nabbed that top spot. The very first comment for this episode. Are you ready for all of this, Brad?
Yeah, let's go.
And of course, we're doing this to the best of our ability. We usually do this in the studio, but you might see some cameras being deleted and reposted because I'm going to go full screen so Brad can see the stuff that I am playing through XSplit so he can hear it, but then you got to see us, so I got to redo the video. So it is sloppy despite my best efforts, and apologies to any posts that I miss. I think I got everything this time. Of course, we have some people that are like, all right, can't wait to drop my post, and then crickets.
Nothing.
James Davey dropped a post, though. Greetings, Brandon and Brad. This month, I want to try and change the dreary nature of my past submissions with an entry a bit more sardonic. Before I do, commendations must go to the recent Tiermaker group stream, which was brilliant and insightful. Just wish Huber were a part of it. Any chance of a follow-up? I feel like we were hungry for a little bit more. We did. We only did like 4 topics.
Yeah.
I wanted to get some Disney or MCU in there. People were like, no Huber, no MCU. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But that'll be fun.
I think we need a cooldown period on it, though.
Oh, sure.
I'm not ready to do it next week or something.
It's like Hall of Greats or Opinion Yell. You just can't do it too much.
Just got top 10 flashbacks almost. I would say it was a little more aggressive than top 10, though. Didn't it feel like a little more aggressive?
Yeah, well, there weren't as many stakes. Because, with the top 10, this is going out. You're going to have to then write a script and capture gameplay. So you're really, making work for yourself.
Yeah,
whereas if you're yelling at something to go up on the board, I mean, it's just, you're just doing it to be difficult. Yeah. And clearly Damiani was having fun as maybe we'll switch that role around. Maybe we'll have a different person.
Oh, that's funny.
Actually physically moving the objects around. But I was so excited to do that, and I thought it was such a no-brainer for a group stream. And then we were 5 minutes into it, and I was like,
what have we done? My God.
But it's pretty good. I love those tests. I love the we made it. We survived. We're all, at least 8 of us are still around. The people that were a part of that stream are still a part of this company. Now into Brad. I gotta be honest. Brad has presented something of an enigma to me. I know he adores Dark Souls, Final Fantasy, and Castlevania, but I personally cannot read his interests as readily as the other allies. But I feel obliged to make amends by giving each of those franchises a one-sentence, simple summary. Dark Souls. Like a spicy curry, you will keep eating it although it makes you cry, akin to how Souls players will die and die and die again and again until they memorize enemy patterns and slay those mighty foes accordingly in a dogged display of sheer perseverance. Final Fantasy. Like a series of important Shakespeare plays that eventually morph into glossily seductive magazine covers featuring giant swords, man boys with wacky haircuts, and women's who tease. That's it. There we go. That was okay. I was ready for more of a sentence.
All right.
Those teasing Final Fantasy women. Castlevania. Like Alucard is the result of WWE's Baron Corbin regrew his lengthy dark mullet and started scooping and licking his fingers in a jar of raspberry jam whilst vainly cosplaying as Raphael from the Soul Calibur series. Sam Porter Bridges has given... Wait.
What?
Yeah. That's it. That's Castlevania.
What?
What's the Baron Corbin reference?
He's a wrestler.
Well, obviously.
But I don't even get it. I don't understand.
I think we're moving on with this sentence. Sam Porter Bridges has given me the idea to become a wayfaring courier. If you want someone to deliver you a new fridge whilst it's awkwardly straddling on their back, then you need burly men like me to lift the load and then collapse under its weight because I ate too many Buffalo Wild Wings, and Kojima induced me with a narcoleptic episode, so I tumbled down a ravine. This entry goes places. We are kicking off the showcase this week. Now a letter. Dear Cloud Strife, your forename is foreboding, and your surname means angry. Why does your name mirror Jim Sterling's attitudes towards the video game industry? I know you have beef, but you need to add some pork, chicken, and fish to your diet. Maybe then you'll gain some charisma and buffer up thanks to some of Daniel Bloodworth's mean and lean protein. And change your name, why don't you? The world is already full of malice. Maybe Rainbow Harmony will do the trick. All you need then is some groovy 80s pants, a Hawaiian shirt, and a unicorn to ride on instead of a faux tough motorbike. Now you get some real attitude. Maybe get your buddy Zach to do the same, but instead of riding a unicorn, he'll get his own luxury plodding donkey ride. Whew.
Whoa.
Get a haircut too, because you're showing symptoms of remake-sitis with that pretty sheen. At least you don't reflect the dirty sewer-dwelling drug addicts that Jill Valentine and Carlos Oliveira do if the Resident Evil 3 poster is any indication. Wow. Well, we only have one more sentence, folks. Yours cordially, your image consultant. Finally, I posit which video game with Odyssey and the name rules them all. Super Mario Odyssey is my pick by far. Thanks once again for everything you do. Love and respect. Super Mario Odyssey is better than Assassin's Creed Odyssey, probably, right?
I think so, yeah.
I think there's just enough content in Super Mario Odyssey.
Sure, yeah.
It might be a little... It's not the kind of thing, like the stuff in the extra stuff in Odyssey, which I didn't check out, I'm sure is wonderful, but I just feel like when I was done with Odyssey, it was like, I got no more!
Yeah.
Whereas when I was done with Super Mario Odyssey, I was like, that was wonderful. Like,
yeah, Super Mario Odyssey felt like I ate the right amount of food and healthy food, where I was just like, I feel real good.
And you know, Brad, you know I have issues with Final Fantasy VII, but I don't know if I agree with a lot of this stuff. I think Cloud's style is seductive.
Yeah, just let him be, man.
Although I do want Cloud in a Hawaiian shirt riding a unicorn now.
That'd be cool. That Cloud lightens up in that game.
Yes, it's true. You just have to wait. Unless you go back and play the original, you gotta wait a while to get that lightening up. Will we see him lighten up in the trailers? There's the bet. Kit Snow, hey Elias. I'm actually about to head out camping for a week. Nice, with my roommates, so I'm a little scatterbrained. 2020 has been a lot. Personally, the last few months have been really draining and full of tough things to deal with. It's no secret that I suffer from multiple mental health issues. Personally, I've been coping by leaning on my own spiritualism. I'm a practicing witch who finds comfort in it, and the reconsuming my favorite media, supernatural, unsurprisingly. I just want to take this time to tell people that you are not alone. It's okay to be hurting, to be in pain, but you don't have to go through it alone. If you are struggling, please don't hesitate to reach out to people in your life. It's hard, but it's worth it. Find your solace, find what makes you happy, what gives you peace of mind. Don't be afraid to indulge in what brings you happiness. Play D&D for 12 hours, lay in the sun all day, bake weird things. Love and be loved. Love and respect. Kit loves Jar Jar Binks Snow. Jar Jar Binks making a comeback. Ahmed Best hosting that.
That's not Jar Jar Binks.
I
know it. Like Jones, if he does Jar Jar impressions though, like there's gonna be one or two.
Of course.
But when I heard that, I thought it was literally gonna be Jar Jar Binks hosting a game show.
That's just Ahmed Best. A very, very nice man. Someone who's definitely sympathetic to a lot of the vitriol that was sent his way which certainly would have been a different situation had that trilogy come out like a decade later. It was like well before social media that a lot of that stuff happened. But I actually finally, speaking of reaching out to people, I just went up finally and hung out with my mom and pop who live up in Palos Verdes, a peninsula just south of Los Angeles, and we went up there. Fortunately, had to keep ourselves and Milo at arm's length. Like we got the pack and play out, and we all had masks on. But like boy, it was strange talking to other people. It was strange being in an open area. You know what was weird was Amanda gave me a look when I was talking to my parents, and I looked over at Amanda and I realized I have not been in that situation for a long time where I can't just tell Amanda something. You know, like my mom was telling us a story and I was like, it's weird to not just constantly only have a one-on-one with Amanda.
Definitely.
Have you gone out of your way and anything that has helped you get through this stay-at-home order, just in terms of contacting people and
I'm really close with my family, and they've always been really good to me, and so like I always have someone to talk to if I need to. I'm very fortunate in that sense. So yeah, I mean, I think honestly, Jones, even us just like talking on Slack is nice every now and then. Just seeing like people just type stuff, talking about a game or something. It's like, of course, it's not the same being at work, but it's still fun and nice. So yeah, I'm super thankful to have something some outlet.
The Great Outdoors is a really good outlet. I saw some people talking about it.
Yeah, of course.
In chat,
yeah, go for a walk or something, man.
Yeah, stoked you're going camping for a week. It's good to just I felt bad because we have a curfew here in Los Angeles. I wasn't sure if I should do that. Like I go take Sophie on a long walk at nights, and I was like,
maybe not.
I don't know. It's a little, the west side of LA is a little, lots of sirens around. Maybe not be the best time. Sure. How do you explain that to a dog? It's tough. It's tough. You explain
maybe
that to Sophie.
Take her earlier. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times a day you walk her.
I'll take her for a walk twice. At the very least. At the very least. Poor Soph. She came up to me. She's been like randomly injuring herself. It was like throwing the ball. I was throwing the ball around like a month ago, and she like jumped up to get the ball and then turned around, looked at me, and started limping. And I'm just like, "What did you do?
No, Sophie, what happened?"
And I think she just like stepped on something. Yeah. She shook it off after a couple of days. We actually like took her to the vet, and they were like, "She's fine."
That's good.
But yesterday we're just like feeding Milo breakfast. We look over at Sophie, and Sophie's like, "Hey. What's up?" And I'm like, "Sophie, what's wrong with your eye?" And like, again, she just shook it off. Like, she gets in straight up brawls with the cat. So like, maybe the cat got a lucky swipe or something. Yeah. But like, the adventures of Sophie. Here we go. Rapid fire. A lot of questions coming at you in this next post, Brad. Okay. If any of these make you feel uncomfortable, if you don't have quick answers for these, feel free to move on.
Okay.
Morgan Mohala, Mr. Jones, if you will allow this, I would like to use my community post to have you interview the guest ally with 5 questions. There are 10 questions, talk show style. Please select any 5 questions. I missed this from the ones provided with the guest and allow them to have a preview. Some questions may be too personal, silly, or off topic, in which case they can be replaced or skipped altogether. If the guest is feeling it and there's time, feel free to do more. Let me respect Morgan Mohala. Okay. The first question is about Tiger King. Did you watch Tiger King?
Yes, I did.
You did? Well, here we go.
Yes.
Which ally would have the most entertaining arc on Tiger King's 2nd season?
Michael Huber. Every time. Michael Huber, of course, man.
I wouldn't pick him for a reality series because you already get, I feel like, his life is a reality series. We already leared so much
about him. Think about that though, Jones. A reality series just amps up your life even more.
Right.
He would be off the walls, if he was a Tiger King, he would be like having a bottle of whiskey, shooting some gun, and petting a tiger at the same time.
All right. I'm way down. What are you too nice to tell Brandon Jones?
Too nice to tell Brandon?
Yeah, let me have it. Bring it.
I don't know, dude.
I know.
I'm not trying to weasel my way out. I'm literally thinking about this.
It's bait. A lot of these are bait. The ones that Morgan is probably expecting me to skip.
Oh, I got one thing. It's not even relevant anymore. It was just like the Souls retro of like, you gonna cut that soon?
Yeah.
Is that it? Are you gonna cut that soon? That's about it, man.
Where's that Souls retro?
Like, honestly, chat, Jones has been very good to us and very accommodating, I would say. Like, I'm not kissing up to Jones at all, but he's been a very good dude to know.
I'll kiss up to Brad. Brad is one of the best. Brad's like that Captain America moment where the grenade, Tommy Lee Jones tosses the grenade out and Cap jumps on it. Brad jumps on quite a few grenades here at DC Allies, just in terms of like
reviews.
Random code will come in, or like somebody will need a guest on Frame Trap or something. There'll be basically something that like one of the things you want to be emotionally prepared for if you're dropping something in Slack is if you're like, hey, open call, anybody? Like it's because you have not the anonymity, but because you have the potential distance of like, I'm not online right now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm Slack. Like we're I'm used to, especially. I have not been producing Trailer Jones episodes of late, but when I would be like, "Hey, this trailer dropped. Anybody? And there's like nobody. I'm like, "Oh, I gotta reach out to somebody specifically." Sure. Brad, a lot of times will be like, "I will do it."
Yeah, man.
I volunteer as tribute.
If I have time, man, it's like I should totally help someone out if I can. Like this is especially common for the holidays time because
right.
you, me, and Huber are usually still around, so it's like we're filling in for a lot of stuff.
Can Star Wars ever be as great as it was? If yes, in a few words, how?
As it was from after Return of the Jedi, I guess.
I don't know. That's the thing. Morgan clearly needs to specify exactly when that was. Give us a year.
So yeah, peak Star Wars for me is obviously the original trilogy. I don't think Star Wars will ever give me that same feeling that I have, but I don't think that's fair on it, just because it was like the perfect time in my life, I would say, and the themes it talked about. But Star Wars, is a up and down roller coaster. Sometimes I'm into it, sometimes I'm not into it, and it's just something I've accepted, and that's just the way it is.
Dude, I gotta be honest, man. I think the height of Star Wars for me was right before Episode 1 came out.
Oh, sure, man. Yeah.
I think that's what because just right after all the special editions, and I was like just out of college. I was like,
yeah, man. Dude, I remember that too. Yeah.
I am thankfully at a higher spot now. I'm in season 3 of Rebels and just loving
there's
it,
some
man.
Good Star Wars out there.
Really, really, really loving Rebels. Watched all the Clone Wars. I cannot wait to dig into that final season
later.
Yeah. And Mandalorian was a lot of fun, and Fallen Order was a lot of fun, and Battlefront 2 is really great, now, and it's free on PS Plus this month. It's a lot of things I'm pretty stoked on. So what do you wish you were best known for?
Best known for?
Yeah. Your legacy, Brad.
I don't know, man. So one thing I really love at Easy Allies is doing reviews. I guess I would just like people to respect my reviews a lot, or my opinion about it, I guess. Because I honestly try to do my best and give my honest opinion about stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully like a review people could understand and I guess trust where I'm coming from.
I respect that. And I think we definitely work for that every day. And finally, please describe your philosophy on the meaning of life. Wrapping up with a quick one.
Oh, philosophy on meaning of life. I mean,
I don't know if it's your meaning of life, but rather your philosophy on the meaning of life.
Just be the best person you could be. Help others out when you can, and don't be a dick. Be excellent to each other. Just Bill and Ted, like that's just kind of what it is.
Have you seen Spinal Tap, Brad?
Yeah.
I always quote the keyboardist. I don't remember his name, but the keyboardist from Spinal Tap. He says, "Have a good time, all the time."
Yeah, have a good time all the time.
That's my meaning of life. Bearded Scotsman 86. Hey, Brandon and Brad. This month has been a busy one for gaming. I started City Skylines. This month, of course, being May. We are just kicking off June. On PS4 since I got it free on PS Plus. I finished off all of Doom Eternal multiplayer trophies and my campaign run through. Yeah. I have just to play. I just have to play the campaign on Extra Life mode and finish with 10 lives remaining for the final trophy and platinum. I went back. Boy, I don't platinum a lot. You platinum more than I do, Brad. That feeling of like you just got the one trophy left, and there's just one thing to do, and it is purely skill based. It's not like a wait and see thing. It's not just add up a point total thing. It's like there's only 1 point of this playthrough. I do not stress myself out to that extreme. So yeah, I respect that, Bearded Scotsman. Excuse me. I went back to Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. Nice to get the platinum there. And then I started Assassin's Creed 3, which I'm enjoying so far.
Oh, there you go.
I bought the Disney Classics game, Aladdin and Lion King. This is a special one for me, as it brings back lots of memories playing Aladdin on my granddad's Mega Drive.
Dude, nice.
I have no idea how I managed to finish the Lion King game as a kid. A lot of people are saying that. I saw some post from some website that literally just said, it was like a headline of a story that was like, how the hell did we beat this?
Sure, yeah.
It's like, I remember the ending of the Lion King game for Super Nintendo, but like playing it now, what in the world? Playing through it now, the collision detection is terrible when jumping over water on the hippo tails. Most of the time it fails to grab and I fall in the water. I had to use the rewind feature a lot to get it done. I also picked up Mass Effect Andromeda since it was so cheap. I'm invested in the story already. I can see a few of the reasons for some negativity early on, like at the end of one small side mission, I had a choice of letting someone leave or letting the council decide punishment. Upon deciding the council punishment, the quest ended and I saw no conclusion to it. I even looked it up online to find out if there was more info, and that was it. They just didn't write and show a conclusion. Such a small issue, though. I would definitely recommend it for anyone that saw the initial backlash and avoided it. My final game for the month is Mafia 2. Ooh. It's a shame they chose to port the PC version rather than a console version, since that is the version that had the bugs. So far, it has run smooth enough for me. The only current annoyance is that there's no way to unlock the trophy The Enforcer for getting 50 kills. People with over 500 kills have got it, so I have to hope for a patch. Hope both of you are well, and chat too. Love and respect, Beard Scotsman.
Damn, that sucks. Bug trophies, man. Damn shame.
Any trophy bugs that have cursed you in the past?
I've actually been pretty lucky, Jones. I can't think of any. I can't think of a trophy, but one the biggest disaster I had in a game that I can remember is Lords of Shadow, Jones. The original, the first one, I was at the final boss of the game, and my save got deleted, and I don't know how. And I was just like, no, dude.
In what game?
Castlevania Lords of Shadow. It was on. I
played
it on
that?
PS3.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the last time I can remember like a game screwing me over so bad.
Was it? Did you just like turn it on and it was gone, or did you go to save and then it?
I turned it on one day and it was just gone, corrupted. I was like, no, dude. Oh.
The worst is when you have something in a game and you're like, oh, that's a weird glitch, and then you like go to type it like into Google and it auto completes and it's like, let me guess, and you're like, oh no. Yeah. Once you see that autocomplete happen, it's like, no. There was one. This wasn't like for a trophy, but I wanted to get 100% like map completion in Just Cause 2. And I was like, what the hell am I missing? And I looked at the map and like every zone, and I'm like, I had like 98.6% or something. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute. This one, I think it's this one, like oil derrick or something. And I went to type the name of it into Google, and they were like, yeah, we know. Like basically you blew up everything on it, but it didn't register that you'd blown up everything on it. And they're like, the game's already saved, auto saved, that you had completed that, so you're screwed.
Damn, that sucks.
Yeah, so never got to 100%. I played, more Just Cause 2 than I did most other games I've ever played. Caesar Villa, hello, Brad and Jones. How have you been doing? How you been doing, Brad?
Pretty good, man.
Pretty good? All right. Yeah. Good to hear. I hope all is well with you and you both and your families. May was, again, a good month for my gaming, but if you expect a long list of beaten games, I will disappoint you. I've been playing Breath of the Wild for the past 3 months, and while I wanted to share my thoughts until I was done with the game, unexpectedly I hit credits last week, so I thought I might as well start with the long Zelda saga. As I've said before, I saved this game for after I beat every game in the franchise, but it's time to come clean. I did play an hour or so 3 years ago when I got it. In that initial taste, I ignored the old man's calls to meet him down the hill and ran directly to the Temple of Time and climbed to the top. Why, you ask? Because that's something I've wanted to do since I played Ocarina of Time some 8 years ago. Remember, I skipped the N64 GameCube era entirely. I have a lot of catching up to do. In Ocarina of Time, ever since I got to the chamber where the Master Sword lied, a beautiful cutscene unfolds with those beautiful chants and a stream of light showering the sword. Then a thought crossed my mind. Where's all that light coming from? It should be a window right there in the ceiling. Why can't I just climb the walls, break the glass, and get through to the ceiling and not have to get the medallions? Seriously, all that light coming in. Someone has to clean that window on the ceiling. I imagine there is an NPC in Hyrule so tired of listening to the legend that there is a sword hidden in the Temple of Time and just thinking, yes, there's a sword back there. I have told you all so many times that it's there. I can see it when I clean the window every week. Anyway, because of that thought that invaded my mind for many years, I went straight to climbing the temple in Breath of the Wild and was a little disappointed that there was no sign of such window. But still, it was a dream come true to be on top of the building. After running around a bit and getting my fix, I went back to my plan of beating Majora's Mask and Triforce Heroes before I would go into the wild again. I didn't think it would take me 3 years to catch up, but here we are now. I'm finally playing one of the best games of all time, and as you, Brandon, put it, that delayed gratification only made it more special. That's it for this month. Take care, all eyes. Estamos en contact, Caesar.
Nice, dude.
I definitely feel that way about Breath of the Wild, where I just had a friend that got a Switch just for Animal Crossing, and inevitably I know that friend is just going to be like, okay, I think I'm done with Animal Crossing. What else? And it's like, what else?
What else?
Get yourself that Breath of the Wild and jump in there.
Yeah,
and
man.
that feels good. It's not kind of thing where like, you haven't played Breath of the Wild. It's like, you're lucky. Just wait until
Oh man, I wish I could
the joy.
experience it again for the first time.
Any other games like that you're just like, you find someone tells you like, oh, you finally checked out this game. You're like, yes. Not like, oh, it's frustrating that you didn't play that before, but like, I just know you're gonna love this.
Yeah, I get super stoked when someone I recommend a game. They're like, oh, okay, or something like that, or they're like, oh, I'm going through this for the first time. I'm like, yes, dude. It's never too late to play something.
Feels good. Dragon Quest Inquisition. It's just been tapping on my brain.
Dragon Quest Inquisition?
Or Dragon Age Inquisition.
Oh, okay. It's like, what? Did I miss the game?
Just announced today, the new Dragon Quest. Ibrahim Sozer, Samurai. You are a warrior. I can see that. You trained your whole life for this, and you have won battles that lesser men have called unwinnable, yes? But while you were sharpening your sword, do you know how I prepared for today? I learned. I know your language, your traditions, your beliefs, which villages to tame and which to burn. So I ask you once again, Samurai, do you surrender? Remember that? Remember what that's from? You know what that's from?
Ghost of Tsushima or something?
Yeah, baby. Yeah. That was the first trailer.
Okay.
Yeah,
dude.
Ibrahim Sozer's excited. Ibrahim Sozer's getting me excited.
Yeah, I'm excited, man.
Yes, we got that Last of Us just around the corner, but then after that. Juan Roland Jr. Hola, Brady Jones. Wanted to give a quick shout out to Gino at Bookshail. That's BOOKSHAIL, Bookshail. And the book he's working on titled Hail Mary Wrath. I haven't read a book in a while, but when he explained what it was about in a previous showcase, I decided to jump back into reading, and glad I did. Won't spoil anything, but if you decide to give it a try, keep an eye out for the chapters with the single name of a person. Highlights for me. Can't wait for the next book. First completed backlog game is PaRappa the Rapper on PS4.
Oh.
Interesting that I still remember the Master Onion rap after so many years. I mean, how can you not? How can you not? That just, it's like riding a bike.
It's all in the mind, yeah.
That just sticks in your brain. There's nothing you can do. Probably from playing the demo disc to death. FYI, that fourth level with the chicken is so broken and sucks that it's still off key. I don't know about broken. Difficult, maybe the word you're looking for. Next is Florence, an interactive story game developed by Mountains and published by Annapurna. Nice, inexpensive addition to the Switch. I didn't know that launched on Switch. And glad it didn't have the ending I assumed it would based on promotional images. Do you know this game at all?
No.
It's a game about dating, I believe, and I got it on, like, it just came out of nowhere when all the awards were being given out 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. Got it on my phone, never touched it. It just seems like I'm always in such a dumb mood whenever I play mobile games. I'm just like, all right, time to turn my brain off. And that seems like time to heighten emotions whenever I would want to jump into Florence. But, so I've never made it happen, but it's sitting there. It's literally, mobile games come and go on my phone a lot. I've actually been deleting games and installing a lot of new games recently, and it's still sitting there, still staring at me, that little yellow icon. Followed up this with Gorogoa, a unique puzzle game designed by Jason Roberts and published by Annapurna as well on the Switch. I had heard Ian mention this a few times and wanted to give it a shot. I enjoy the feeling of being completely lost with a puzzle game only to figure out how it functions and then feel like a fool for not seeing it in the first place. After years away from the series. Okay, yes, I played this, and this is great because a lot of times when I play puzzle games, I'm not a huge fan of puzzle games because I just feel so dumb whenever I play puzzle games. And this is fun to just goof with. So it's when you get stuck, it's just fun to kind of move stuff around and see how it interacts, and then gradually you're like, oh, you just have a happy accident. You're like, I get it. You know, maybe not the solution, but I get what you're asking me to do. Yeah, and I second that. That's on iOS, a lot of other stuff too, if you want to check it out. PC as well. After many years away from the series, it was time to get back to Trine 3 and 4 on the Switch. Sadly, the third installment, developed and published by Frozen Byte, is the weakest of them, in my opinion. They did away with skill trees, along with some of the abilities that were staples, like Amadeus creating planks. This is the only one in the series which allows full 3D gameplay, but the graphics suffer due to it, causing me to run into constant bugs. Bummer. To top it off, the story ends on a cliffhanger, which is completely dropped. Trine 4, published by Modus Games this time around, ends on was a great return to form. Skill trees were back, along with traditional 2D gameplay in a stunning 3D world. It's a self-contained story having nothing to do with its predecessor, and it was a true delight. There's a small secret which tries to pay homage to Trine 3's open-ended finish if you get all the secret unlockables. Wanting more platform... so if you want to try out 3 and 4, maybe skip to 4. I am adding that based on Juan's review there. Did you check out Trine? I know Hubert.
I played some Trine 1, yeah.
Nice. Wanting more platforming, I played Metroid Samus Returns on the 2DS.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that 3DS?
Well, you can play it on 2DS.
Can you?
Yeah, you can play any 3DS game on a 2DS. It's just not 3D.
Oh. I had the original for Game Boy, but never made it far. This felt like your average Metroid game, but I always enjoyed slowly upgrading Samus to get her ready for the end. Finally, I played Tesla Grad, a 2D puzzle platformer on the Switch developed and published by Rain Games. What's cool about this game is that you use the power of magnetism to solve puzzles and fight. Interesting and unique for sure. That's all for now. Amor y respeto.
Cool.
Yeah, a wonderful lot of games that I was not checking out.
I love hearing people's like what they're playing and stuff. There's always some cool little games.
Oh, is Brandon confusing 2DS for the original DS? I am.
Oh, okay.
I'm tired. That's totally what I was
saying. To be fair, it's a real dumb name.
Yeah. Thank you. Bloodworth saving me in chat. And I love Brad. You're unfazed. You're like, come on, Jones, catch up. Brandon K. Gant. May had a lot of small things, making it a rather packed one for my interests. Coming down off the high of Final Fantasy VII Remake, for a while I didn't feel like playing anything else, but a couple of blasts from the past got me into the mood. The first I did play, but rather watched, and that's the Wind Waker full playthrough.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not really a fan of the franchise, but Wind Waker is my favorite Zelda. Sailing around, discovering islands with delightful tunes, and discovering each island's secrets make it such a jolly game. Thank you, Mr. Ellis, for streaming it.
Oh, thanks for watching.
Any last thoughts? Any post-mortem on Wind Waker? Anything jump out at you from playing it again?
Wind Waker. You could definitely feel the cut content that was supposed to be there. Where some things are just kind of... They don't connect as smooth as I would have expected them to. But still really great. Still love that game.
I just totally watched Amanda play that. And then almost watched her play every single minute of it. Because that was
it's a delightful game.
Yeah. But I think some of the most, really one of the first open world, Zeldas. I mean, a lot of the ones were open world, but not really in the traditional modern sense when we think about it.
Yeah, sure.
But I think in an open world sense before Breath of the Wild, that was my favorite example of that genre. But what I've been playing is The Legend of Dragoon. It's been almost 15 years since my only play attempt when I became stuck on disc 3 of 4, and only now have I decided to give it another go. Let me tell you, this is a mixed bag. It's clear how much it takes and reworks from Final Fantasy. The writing is not good, and the handling of certain characters lean into cringy tropes. Gameplay is fine, leaning into the dynamic of switching into the titular dragoons to cast powerful magic and strengthening physical attacks, but having every attack requires you to be involved with a rhythm-based pressing of the X button is frustrating. Doubly so when every character has multiple attacks called additions they can pick from, and each of these additions hold different timing. Despite it all, I'm going to see it through to the end. Aside from those, the kickoff, I'm curious where he's at, what disc he's on right now. I'm curious when he gets that pivotal disc 3 shift. Aside from those, the kickoff for the Summer Game Fest briefly felt like what I was missing and what we will miss and what should have been in a couple of weeks. Sure, the small announcements or videos in and of themselves weren't all too major, but having something for every day and just as importantly a schedule to look forward to really gives off the slightest of hype. To close, I want to leave a few words about a short list of games I can't wait to play for the first time, both old and new within the next couple of months. Currently, the forums just wrapped up the GOTY list for 2011, which we'll get to in a second. And there was an entry that, after thinking about it, I don't have a good reason why I let it pass me by. Deus Ex Human Revolution. After doing some research and talking with a friend of mine, 4 words sold me. Cyberpunk Dishonored with guns. So I'm going to give it, and depending on how that goes, Mankind Divided a shot. They're joining A Plague Tale, Innocence, and Hellblade Senua's Saga in games that have interested me and I need to try. I was hoping it was going to say Game Pass or something. I was like, oh, what? But there are 2 2020 games that should be released soon. Superluminal, a puzzle game all about perspective I first saw during a Kind of Funny Game showcase and last saw during a State of Play. And lastly, the game that I most can't wait for this month, The Last of Us Part 2, of course. But yeah, Superluminal was something that I did not make time for and definitely was... on the verge of playing, much like so many other things. Did you play either of the Deus Ex games? I know Huber's
I've played
freaking out about them.
So for the retro I did Invisible War, which was the second
one. Of course, yeah.
I played it on Xbox,
just those 2 specifically.
And I played a lot of the first one, and I played Human Revolution, but I never played Mankind Divided.
Kitsuna Lane. Hello, allies. Elaine from New Zealand. Usually I have music, but not this week. Instead, I'm going to give you a gaming backlog update. Right now, I am working towards my goal of platinuming every Final Fantasy on PS4.
Woo.
Yeah. So far, I've completed my runs of Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy X, and Final Fantasy 15. My Final Fantasy X run took 120 hours. Good lord! Right now, I'm working on Final Fantasy 12, the
Zodiac Age. Yeah.
Zodiac Age. That's where, but they just put TZA, and I'm like Zodiac Age. Next will be 8, then 9. I was saving the best for last, baby. After that,
9 has a real annoying trophy.
Oh really?
Yeah, jump rope.
Go on.
There's a part in the game where you have to jump rope, and it's like
just like Odyssey.
Yeah, it's just like, oh my god, yeah.
Oh no, wasn't that like right at the beginning?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it was one of the first things Vivi wants to do.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, at least you can get it out of the way early on. Oh boy. With all this Final Fantasy in my diet, it got me thinking, and I want to submit a rant. I have words to say about the public perception of Final Fantasy VII. First of all, let's get this out of the way here. It's my favorite Final Fantasy. I cannot tell you how many times I've completed this game across its various platforms. I would even say it's the best one. But that's a discussion for another day. No allies. What I want to say is this. Final Fantasy VII's world map is not in any way comparable to the vast open worlds of modern gaming. This is despite people insisting that the only way to translate the overworld is through modern vast open vistas a la Final Fantasy 15. I would like to throw my hat into the ring to say, this is farcical. Final Fantasy VII's overworld is not an open world, it's an abstracted world. We are looking back at it with modern lenses because its abstracted world was the closest we got in a PS1 game to feeling the way we do when we turn the camera atop a large mountain in Breath of the Wild. But those feelings are lying to us. Final Fantasy VII was always a linear experience, mostly about getting from point A to point B, with things to do along the way. It's not open in the sense open worlds are, but people have these weird perceptions about it that don't jive with my experience. It was really good at hiding that, at pulling the wool over our eyes. That's good game design. As I said, it's my favorite Final Fantasy and even my favorite game of all time. I also want to say that I loathe how linear has become a bad word. That's a rant for another day, though. We cannot extrapolate an overworld into an open world. The two things fundamentally serve different design purposes. Final Fantasy VII's world would be much better served by being turned into zones, a la the game I'm playing right now, Final Fantasy XII. Not only would it be easier to create and less of a load on the hardware and designers, it would more truly capture the essence of traversing that world. It would give us just enough freedom to poke around in there. It's interesting to me to consider how modern stylings have changed how we view older games, even as we play them. That's it. That's the rant. I could go into depth, but then it would become way too much to read. Suffice it to say, I'm working on that backlog. On the list are the Yakuza games, Dragon Quest Builders 2, the Atelier games, and a slew, the Atelier games, and a slew of other things I'm forgetting about. Oh, and Animal Crossing. Can't forget Animal Crossing. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you're all keeping well. Please stay safe and be kind. Love and respect. Elaine from New Zealand.
Yeah, interesting.
I love a good modern overworld. Not open world, overworld.
Sure, yeah.
I love Dragon Quest 11, Trials of Mana. I love it.
Yeah, I understand what they're saying. Final Fantasy VII is not really a game where you're just like in this open world. You're like, I'm gonna go this way, wherever I want, anytime I want, kind of thing. It is very like there's side stuff to do, obviously, but there's like a clear path that you should be going. But how it presents its world, Jones, it makes it feel vast, and that's I think the strength of it. I agree. I think the remake probably won't be like 15 style. I think it will be more zone-esque because I think if you try to make the world completely open world, you're just asking for a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's kind of unrealistic, but who knows?
Yeah, even, like, 6, which I adore, that world doesn't make sense in parts. Like, if you were actually to translate, it works for the game, but if you're actually, like, to figure out how far places are, and there's some, like, towns no one can get to, but a bunch of people live in, it doesn't necessarily make sense when you think about the challenges that open world games face. But yeah, I'm very much not expecting 7 to be translated into a true open world. I definitely think they'll go more, the Final Fantasy 12 route. Love Final Fantasy 12. James Vest. A lot of Final Fantasy talk. And brought up the Yakuza games. We will get to the Yakuza games again in a second, too. James Vest. Hello, gentlemen. I wanted to use this month to talk about how I got one of the most important games for me ever, and one of my favorite games, Xenoblade Chronicles on the Wii. During the 360 PS3 generation, I slowly started to drift from playing games completely. It was not my favorite period of gaming. Not that there were not amazing games during that gen. So it was during the summer before the PS4 was released. I also had kind of a falling out of playing JRPGs for some strange reason that I don't even remember now. Just remember being disappointed by Rogue Galaxy and then not playing them again for a good long time. So I was going to look for a game to play, as I had time on my hands and wasn't sure what to play, if anything. I went to a used game store and found a copy of Persona 4, which at the time I'd never played, for PS2. So I bought it, took it home, and I found out the game didn't work.
Ooh.
I tried a number of times and the game was just too scratched up. So I returned it, got some money back. Looking around, I saw Xenoblade, and for some reason, it just stuck out to me. And it was, luckily for me, only $60. I got it on site and went home and played it. I played it endlessly over the next week or so and beat it. It re-energized my love of games and JRPGs. I loved the story, the characters, the music, and everything about the game. Dunban is one of my favorite characters in a game. From the opening battle in Sword Valley, I was just hooked. Even the graphics didn't bother me too much. That game, and later Fire Emblem Awakening, which I got later that year on the 3DS, which I got around the same time. These are the two games that caused me to fall back in love with gaming, and thus are two of my most favorite games. So here's to having a great deal of fun with the new one. Tempting,
nice.
Man. I don't have that, especially the more Ben talks about how long it's taking him to get that review done.
Yeah, it's a big game.
But I do have that itch. You know what I've been thinking of going to? There's that Bravely Default 2 demo, which I have downloaded on my Switch, which I haven't tested at all. And I was talking to chat the other day, I think during my Animal Crossing stream, about what's the best way to play Chrono Trigger. And they said they cleaned up that PC version. Because I've seen the ending of Chrono Trigger, but I never myself beat Chrono Trigger.
Oh, okay.
Well,
there's multiple endings, Jones. So
I know.
It's a real good game. Good.
Same thing with Dragon Age Inquisition. It's just like I'm hungry for a good meaty RPG. But then there's a lot of big games coming out this summer, so probably be a mistake to get too invested in one. Inquisition is a massive time sink as well, says thank you, says Chad. Tyler Gardner, hello, Brandon and Brad. I'm incredibly excited about this month's showcase. To begin, I have never completed a Final Fantasy game. Last year, I began Final Fantasy VII and escaped Midgard, but it just kind of fell off and never finished it. After watching the final trailer for Remake, I was hooked and knew I had to jump in. Remake absolutely blew me away. It had characters I instantly fell in love with, an incredibly fun combat system, and a story that left me intrigued. After finishing it in about a week, I loaded up the PSN version of Final Fantasy VII and restarted my journey. Well, another week later, the original was done too. I can confidently say I love Final Fantasy VII. For all the hype I've heard over the years, I'd never really heard just how innovative, bizarre, and bold the original game was. That game is definitely bold and bizarre. I will put certainly yes.
Yeah.
I will, 7 is bold in ways that 6 is not, as much as I love it. It left me surprised, emotional, and blown away throughout. The PSN version's 3x battle speed option was a great help too, for making some more mundane grinding and exploration painless, and having a voice for many of the characters through the remake helped me feel a greater sense of attachment. I was so invested, I'm now waiting on a Blu-ray copy of Advent Children in the mail.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit. Here we go.
Who'd have thunk it? During the remainder of the summer, I plan to go through 8 and 9 as well. Everybody's just more Final Fantasy. And I got 12. I got to Zodiac Age. I started it. I started to play through on the Switch. It's calling to me. And while I'd also like to go through 6, the lack of a 3 times option is a bit frightening. But for you, Jones, I'll try. Thank you, Tyler. To take a short or long break from Final Fantasy, however, I'm now going through Persona 3 FES. Woo. I'm about 40 hours in now and having a good time. It's definitely a bit tricky to go back to having played P5 and then P4 due to its lack of direct command of your party, but it has that Persona charm nonetheless. Like usual, the soundtrack by Shoji Meguro is god tier. One final more serious note. I think the last few days have in particular made a lot of people feel more desire to attempt to change our politics while also feeling more helpless. We can change things. I would highly encourage anyone and everyone to really look into who represents you in Congress, in the State House, State Senate, or even the city level. If you have someone great already, great. But work to keep them there. And if you have someone who stands against progress, find their opponent. Those running against longtime incumbents for the state-level positions are almost always underfunded and undersupported. They are almost always very easy to contact and ask how you can help. Make 10 phone calls a day. It may not seem like much, but find someone you think will fight to make things better and give them your all. And while we have other Ohio allies who want to make suggestions, I'd be happy to point you in some directions. Love, respect, and Black Lives Matter. Tyler. Tyler, very much involved in politics, definitely enjoying Tyler's journey through school and journey through meeting all sorts of people. Tyler keeps meeting all sorts of crazy political officials, people running for office and otherwise. Regardless of how you decide to vote, we are definitely in support of getting out there and voting. And tis the year to do that. Small Leviathan. Hello, Brad and Brand on. Didn't finish the project I mentioned I was working on last showcase. I actually ended up working on a bunch of other projects instead. I put a lot of time into a short story centered around the character I'm playing in a Changeling, the Lost game I'm in, that I won't be able to share on the showcase because it's currently about 1,500 words long and not even finished. Haven't been playing any new games, but I've been playing some old ones instead. My brother was messing around on my Switch while we were hanging out at my mom's place, and he noticed that Bastion and Transistor were both pretty heavily discounted. Supergiant Games are his favorite developer, so he bought both of them on a whim. As such, I'm slowly working with, like, on your credit card. Did he just like, oh, you need these games, bro? I love that.
Yeah.
And as such, I'm slowly working my way through Bastion at the moment. I can't say I'm a huge fan of the combat. It feels kind of weightless and floaty, and the character models and animations haven't aged well, but I don't think that's what people love about this game. It's very clearly the world building, music, characters, and that lovely narrator, and all of it still holds up great. Yeah, I've started Bastion, never finished it. I've also been replaying another old game that has aged very well, namely Sleeping Dogs.
Oh.
Did you finish Sleeping? Another
I
game
never even played Sleeping Dogs.
Sleeping Dogs is fun.
I know. I hear good things about it.
The motorcycle is really great. I think I like exclusively used motorcycles in that game. I don't know if you can. I imagine you can get in cars too as well. But definitely what I think one of the major things I loved about Sleeping Dogs is there's just not a lot of. Yakuza is an open world game and has combat, but Yakuza is obviously not open world in the way that Breath of the Wild and Grand Theft Auto and Saints Row and these other games are just like very much giant city simulators, traffic, all that stuff. So it was neat playing a game where hand to hand was so focused on I remember True Crime had a lot of that too. It really good hand to hand combat. And so I'm bummed that I never finished Sleeping Dogs. Got the remaster on Xbox. I can just download it, play it anytime. Which not only has strong narrative themes in its story, but also explores those themes mechanically as well. It's just so clever how the game uses its two experience systems, one rewarding violence and efficiency, and other punishing clumsiness and recklessness. As a way to highlight how the protagonist is torn between his two identities as a triad member and an undercover cop. Also, I do love that chunky, meaty kung fu combat. Playing Sleeping Dogs, it's so very underappreciated. So yeah, it's just that specific combat because it's, as you know, Yakuza definitely has that stuff, but it also has like pick up a motorcycle and crush a guy with it.
Sure,
it's a little bit of a different vibe. Now for some non-video game stuff. The latest Magic the Gathering expansion, Ikoria Lair of Behemoths, released this May, and I was all over it, even buying an entire booster box that's $120 worth of cards. I mean, come on, it's a set focused on giant kaiju monsters. My online handle is literally Leviathan. Of course I'm excited for it. Also, I think the new companion mechanic broke all the competitive formats. I wouldn't know. I only play as Commander. Finally, to round up this submission, last week one of my favorite artists, Will Baths Weisenfeld, released his latest album, Pop Music False B-Sides 2, a spiritual successor to an earlier album of his. It's a delightfully dreamy electronic album. I only wish it had a bit more edge to it because it doesn't quite have the same bite and diversity as his best works. Still, it's very good, and I highly recommend checking out some of the tracks like Tropic Laurel, Fortuna, or my favorite, Veranda Shove. That's all for me for this month. Until next time, love and respect, Small Leviathan. Not often we get album recommendations.
I know, yeah.
Here on the showcase, so I'm certainly there for that. Nice.
Yeah, good stuff.
Thank you, Small Leviathan. RF Switch, greeting Jones and Brad. I was going to do an Animal Crossing video, but I need more time to perform a blood sacrifice for it. You think RF Switch is joking? You would think, ha RF Switch. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I would also show you more character art from the Themis, the cat girl, but I have to have my drawing tablet before I do that. Having said that, by now, you've probably noticed my pen name, RF Switch. While RF are my actual initials, and Switch could also refer to my transition, the reality is, what I chose RF Switch for is a reminder of how much I love classic video games. Why do I bring this up? Well, I'm going to be streaming soon, and I have a nice little collection of about 130 SNES games.
Wow.
While I have your ear. Yeah, my ear's definitely perked up at 130 SNES games. I figured I'll take a moment to talk about my top 5 favorite RPGs in my collection. Enjoy. Number 5, Final Fantasy IV. My favorite of the Final Fantasy games, 6. I feel Cecil's story is a deep and meaningful redemption story, and the rest of the cast have incredible character arcs throughout. 4, Secret of Mana. I love the AI grind and the way the menus work in this game, and the music and gameplay is fantastic. Also, having fast travel be canon-based is always a blast. Literally. Not canon as in story canon, but literally like boom canon.
Boom.
3, Super Mario RPG, the precursor to Paper Mario. Why wouldn't I love this game, especially the delightful way in which they used pantomime to allow Mario to communicate the story instead of being a boring old silent protagonist. Number 2, Earthbound. Fourth wall breaking, a fantastic soundtrack, excellent strange characters, and a bright, colorful world with incredible lore. I've owned this game for over 25 years, and it fills me with joy every time I play it. It's also inspired some of my writing style for Themis. And number 1, Chrono Trigger, my personal favorite game of all time, and the favorite of everyone who has ever played it. I have been replaying. That's a bold.
Yeah, that's a bold statement.
That's a bold statement. I've been replaying this game recently, and it makes my heart sing every time I play it. I also just got Luca to hug Chrono after his resurrection instead of Marl for the first time.
Oh.
And almost cried because it was so emotional. To anyone who hasn't played these games, seek them out. Each one is a precious gem and deserves to be considered one of the greats. Have a good day. Play well. Love and respect to RF Switch. P.S. Also, happy birthday, Milo, June 21st. And myself, June 19th. Twitch.tv/RF Switch Art.
Nice.
Yeah, I in one of my journeys in my Animal Crossing Island Hop, somebody put what's the Elgato?
Elgato. Yeah.
They had a little concert area, and they had a sticker on the ground of him with the mic.
That's sick.
So
yeah. That's awesome.
Excellent
Damn.
touch. And I was just happy that I knew the reference. We teased it before. It's time to dive in. Axel. Hey, Brandon and Brad, reporting from the EZA forums once again to share the results of our GOTY 2011. Yes, we're going back in time. For those who don't know, we do it by ranking our favorite games of the year with number 1 to number 4 earning 5, 4, 3, and 2 points respectively, plus up to 4 optional honorable mentions getting 1 point each. In case of a tie, the game with the most top votes gets the edge. Here are the final rankings. Before we dive in, when I say 2011, Brad, does anything jump out? Anything in general?
Dark Souls.
You remember? Aha! There we go.
Skyrim.
Okay. I'm not like that at all, man. I've been doing this. I've been in this biz for so long. Every year, just like
sure,
like,
yeah.
The '90s are different because there were just so many conversations we had back at GT about like specific years and ranking the years and everything. But those are 2 games that are on this list. You might not like where Skyrim ends up in relation to Dark Souls, but let's get into it.
Yeah.
What is this, a popularity contest or something? All right, here we go. And the 25 slot, the King of Fighters 13 with 8 points. At number 24, Rayman Origins, a game I have adored from afar but never played, at 9 points. Number 23, Pokemon Black and White with 9 points. Beating out Pokemon at 22, Gears of War 3 with 9 points. At 21, Shin Megami Tensei Persona 2, Innocent Sin, specifically, with 9 points. At number 19, a perfect tie between LA Noire and Resistance 3.
Wow.
The perfect tie at 10 points each. Infamous 2 at number 18 with 11 points. Dragon Age 2, which I very much enjoyed. A lot of people were frustrated with that game, but I played it several times. The better 2 of the bunch, though, Dead Space 2. Coming in at 16, and that's a game you can play a couple times. That game's at a wonderful New Game Plus. It's very fun to just like zip right through that game once you know what's going on. Bastion, which we just talked about at number 15 with 13 points. At 14, The Legend of Heroes, Trails in the Sky. At number 13, Super Mario 3D Land. Super Mario 3D Land.
3DS.
3DS, okay. 3D World, 3D Land. New Super Mario Brothers. A lot of confusing games in that era. Number 12, a Ben favorite. We got a don't skip on it if you want to go check it out. Ghost Trick, Phantom Detective at 14 points. Number 11, Yakuza 4, 15 points. Lots of Yakuza and Final Fantasy references in this showcase. Number 10, Xenoblade Chronicles with 18 points, only to be outdone by number 9 for Mr. Daniel Bloodworth, The Witcher 2, Assassins of Kings.
Ooh, yeah.
At 22 points. Number 8, Catherine at 23. This is kind of starting to make sense now that we get into the top 10. Number 7, The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword with 26 points. Number 6, also currently previously mentioned in the showcase, Deus Ex Human Revolution with 33 points, which you played a little bit of. Did you play Mankind Divided? Yes, you played that, but not Mankind Divided.
Right.
Have you played number 5, Uncharted 3, Drake's Deception?
Yeah, of course.
Of course. I don't know.
Of course.
Played 2 and 4, but never.
Can you imagine being Mike's friend and not playing that game?
I can't imagine that.
Yeah.
Number 4, Dark Souls.
Mm-hmm.
At 47 points, which means 3 games were on top of Dark Souls. Number 3, The Elder Scrolls V, Skyrim, at 53 points. Which, I love me some Skyrim. I probably would recognize that Dark Souls is a better game than Skyrim, but I played Skyrim
it is what it
many,
is.
many times. Bought it again on Switch, against my better judgment, played it again. Love that, one of my favorite bone era games of all time. Number 2, Batman Arkham City.
Yeah, great.
With 59 points.
Great game, yeah.
And beating out Batman again, another game that I started but never finished, and I love the first one so much. Any guesses?
No.
Chat guessed Portal 2. 64
Portal
points.
2 was that year. Wow.
Yeah. So Portal 2 beating out Arkham City, which beats out Skyrim, which beats out Dark Souls. And then, I feel pretty cozy. That was a good year.
Yeah, it was a good year.
That top 10 is certainly exciting. A few fun facts. It was our tightest difference for the top spot. Yakuza and the Legend of Heroes always make it. I guess whenever they talk about 2011. 18 of these games were single player only. Nice. Well done, 2011. The top 3 are Western games, only the 3rd time it has happened since we started doing these. The DS games got more games than the 3DS in its launch year. That's interesting. And we're not making fun of anyone, but Homefront, Crysis 2, and Need for Speed The Run scored 0 points. What are your personal 2011 favorites? Final shout out. We're going to start doing 2010 very soon, so anyone who wants to participate should join in the forums.
Wow, damn.
Obviously Souls. Anything out here? Anything on here? We're like,
Skyward Sword, man. I love that game.
Nice. L.A. Noire. I love Dragon Age 2, Dead Space 2.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure
Witcher 2 is great. Also, love Witcher 2.
Witcher 3 was the first Witcher game I ever played. Yes, Axel, thank you so much. I love.
Yeah, that's sick.
Thanks for doing that. Going through. Thank you to everybody in the forums that participated. Thank you for passing along that information. Thank you to everybody.
Topic for 2010 is up now.
There you go. Jump in.
Go vote.
I love lists. Can't get enough. I love the showcase. I love lists. I love lists in the showcase.
List.
Josef Caruso, you may or may not know me as the weirdo who made the lengthy tributes to Kyle Bossman over the past 2 years. Weirdo. I wish I could share my latest tribute on Twitch, but it's not related to Easy Allies, and I was reminded during a previous community showcase that it's not wise to stream footage of television or film. So instead, I will briefly talk about the subject of my tribute and how it relates to finding faults in that which you love. My favorite movie ever, easily, is Terminator 2.
Sure, yeah.
A few months back, I heard a metal cover of a track from Hotline Miami 2, and for some reason, I thought about Terminator 1 and 2. And I just couldn't get the thought of syncing this metal track up to the movies out of my head. So I had to make this tribute, just so I could stop constantly envisioning it. I have been there before. I've always wanted to do a Duel of the Fates montage to like every Star Wars movie. I love that. I love that track. I love that track so much. And I think Duel of the Fates does a good job of kind of like summing up a story of a movie, you know, like starts and then there's the big thing and then the fallout and then the big, ending. But I did that with Return of the Jedi, actually. I showed that to Huber when we were back in the studio.
Dude, sick.
While rewatching Terminator 2 for probably the dozenth time, I will be honest and say that I never heard Brandon Jones's full editorial, and while he doesn't think Terminator 2 holds up perfectly, thank you for using the word perfectly, because Terminator 2 absolutely rules.
Yeah.
I just get nitpicky about it because I've seen it a billion times. But I did recall him saying that John Connor is annoying. As an example, probably my favorite line in the whole movie is when the Terminator is referring to humanity and says, it's in your nature to destroy yourselves. To which John says, yeah, major drag, huh? Brandon, you're right. I love this movie.
90s.
And you're right. Yeah. Similarly, one of my favorite video games ever is A Link to the Past, but after hearing Kyle Bossman's complaints about the game and playing through it again, I can't help but agree with him. Some of those sprites are so ugly to the point that it's hard to tell exactly what I'm looking at. And the dungeon designs are, at least at times, very basic. That said, I still adore the game. My point is, hearing a negative hot take about something you love is not some attack on yourself or that as much, or or that which you love, you can discover blemishes you never noticed before and still appreciate something just as much as you did when wearing your nostalgia goggles. Just like you can continue to discover new things to enjoy about the game, same thing over the years. It takes guts to share your criticisms about a piece of art that is universally praised, and I genuinely appreciate it. So long as it's level-headed and honest. Thanks to Brandon Jones, I can now admit that Terminator 2 is not flawless, but I would still personally give it a 10 out of 10.
Sure, yeah.
Terminator 2 absolutely rules, man. The stuff that Terminator 2 does well, I would posit not only is just so exceptional, but like no movies never really kind of come close to that level. And it's interesting that there's a Guns N' Roses song in Terminator 2, because I feel the same way about Guns N' Roses. Welcome to the Jungle came on the other day. We were listening to some channel or something. Welcome to the Jungle came on. And I was like, man, there's just nothing like this song, you know, like there's some just hardcore metal bands that I love, and then I'll hear something modern that I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of going for the same kind of vibe. But like Guns just did their own thing, and like it's so 90s, but it's, in my mind, I still love it, like for being what it is. And it's the same thing about T2. It's like I can criticize it, but there's just nothing like T2. There's it like those Definitely. Moments where it hits, man. It hits, you know, in such a powerful way. But yeah, I love criticizing stuff again, and like as a Rockstar fan, like I deal with, you know, all sorts of criticism for those games, and like I just love having that perspective. It's why I always place a difference on best and favorite. Whenever somebody asks me a question, they're like, what's your favorite RPG? It's like, oh, okay, my favorite actually is this. What I think is the best RPG is a different discussion. So yeah, that's how I
definitely
do so Terminator 2 would sound like one of your favorite films. You'll give it a personal favorite 10 out of 10. Yeah, like Biodome is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's not a good movie, you know.
I did not expect that.
Yeah, it's funny because we just watched. There's a great documentary called Spaceship Earth that's about the Biodome. It's about the dome that's in Arizona. And after it was done and we'd watched it, Amanda's like, I kind of want to watch Biodome now. I'm like, you don't.
Yeah, oh, man.
It does not hold up. Extremely sexist.
Funny.
Film. Yeah, and there's Pauly Shore. There's that. Next Gen Hef. Hey guys, here are my Yakuza game rankings. We're back.
Oh, okay.
We're back to talking about Yakuza. Yakuza, Final Fantasy, Breath of the Wild. These things are inevitably just gonna show up and showcase. They're just gonna kind of like.
Oh yeah.
Yakuza, I think, is the most referenced franchise in the history of the Easy Allies community.
Passionate fan base.
Yes, always a reason to play Yakuza. Never a bad time to talk about it. Here are my Yakuza game rankings. Honorary mentions. Judgment. While not really a Yakuza game, it had a great story that I thoroughly enjoyed. I do wish it had karaoke, and the XP system could have been better, like in Yakuza Kiwami 2 and 6. Yakuza Dead Souls. If this was just a normal zombie game, it might be a 5 or 6 out of 10. Since it's set in the Yakuza universe, it's a 7 out of 10. Scratch that. It's an 8 out of 10 because it has the best karaoke song out of all the Yakuza game. Look up Majima Get to the Top. Do it. All right.
Okay.
Here we go. Number 7, Yakuza 3. It is the worst Yakuza game today. It has the oldest graphics and a mad plot overall. I especially hate how they retcon some of my favorite stuff from 2. But it is still a good Yakuza game. It fleshes out a lot of Kiryu's kids at the orphanage, which almost makes up for its lows. Number 6, Yakuza 4. It's really good. The game even brings back storylines from the first Yakuza game. The 4 characters you play as are fun and interesting. I just enjoyed the other Yakuza games more. Number 5, Yakuza Zero. While it's a fan favorite for most, I liked the gameplay of some and the story of others higher on this list. Still, this is a great entry point, or even standalone story. Playing as Majima was fun. I just can't see Nishiki the same way after the first Yakuza game. Nishiki?
Nishiki, yeah.
Yeah. Self-correction there. I said it the wrong way, but I knew I did. Number 4, Yakuza 6. It has a so-so story, but really great gameplay, and the XP system in the new Dragon engine. The baseball management side game was good enough to be worth a distraction. It caused Huber on the Nintendo Labo reaction. Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh,
that is one of my favorite clips.
One of the top 10 Huber moments of all time.
Live.
I'm happy to have that mug. It's so distracting whenever somebody brings it up because it's so choice.
Jones.
I always keep that one in reserve, just in my back pocket, in case whenever people are like, is this guy for real? It's like, oh, yeah, you want to see proof? Do you want to see proof?
I love that clip, Jones, just because you're laughing the whole time. And Kyle's just like dumbfounded.
He still doesn't know. Yeah. He's still confused. He's still like, what? What are you guys mad about?
Oh, whoops.
Number 3, Yakuza Kiwami. This was my first Yakuza game, and I fell in love with the story and series here. Even if the gameplay is so from what I remember, the story will always hold a special place in my heart. Number 2, Yakuza 5. I would say this is one of the best video games of the PS3 generation. Other than a Yakuza game, it also contains a 7 out of 10 taxi simulator, a 7 out of 10 hunting simulator, and a 7 out of 10 idle simulator. And for one character, a revamped batting cage game. There was so much to do, and it was a blast playing as every character you could. This is one of the harder games to get now, right?
5? It's on the collection.
It's in the collection? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
3,
for
4,
a while,
5.
though, I imagine, yeah. And number 1... the only game that's left, Yakuza Kiwami 2. My favorite Yakuza game. The story is the best story in the series. Ryuji Goda is easily the best and most respectable villain of the series. They created a new romance for Kiryu in the detective Kaoru Sayama, who keeps up with Kiryu almost as an equal. And they even created a side story where Majima fans from Yakuza Zero can play as Majima again. This game is one of my favorite games in my PS4 catalog and easily my favorite Yakuza game. Love and respect,
Nice.
Sean. A.K.A. Next Gen Half. Love that.
Yeah, that was good.
Again, just love a good ranking out of nowhere.
Yeah,
and
sure.
I felt it was very respectful too. You know, clearly.
Oh,
they,
yeah,
what
yeah.
was, you know,
I love the amount of 7 out of 10s he would say.
Yeah. Robert Lee, hello both. You've already gotten some of these, Brad, but you can brace yourself.
Okay.
I'm here to filter these through my voice into your ears. Here are my unpopular opinions of Final Fantasy VII Remake. I should probably, let me just make a text thing. Let me make a text thing here. I'll throw it up for everybody. Dun, 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 dun. Title text. Spoilers.
Spoilers, y'all.
I mean, I gotta read these comments from everybody as they are sent to us, but I will put up the spoiler warning. There we go. Spoilers, folks. Mute that sucker if you want to bail. And apologies to everybody that's listening to this, but this is a post that was sent to us. These are spoilers of Final Fantasy VII Remake. So I will remove that text when we are done with these spoilers. Here we go. I feel like I have a general understanding of the mechanics as I've achieved the platinum and spent over 100 hours playing. Some of these issues came to light on my hard mode playthrough. The combat is very flawed. I have spent the majority of the time playing in VR battles trying to get a deeper understanding of the combat, and I still don't understand the praise. The combat is almost deceiving, as it looks like an action game, but it does not handle like one. The main issues I have: aerial combat is just abysmal. The dodge mechanic rarely works and is poorly executed. Movement feels clunky and not suitable to deal with agile enemies. Magic spells don't always connect, such as Blizzard. The precious limit breaks don't always connect, being juggled by the enemy and losing all control, and the camera becomes an obstacle. I don't know if I agree with much of that. I definitely got juggled.
I agree with the air combat. The air combat's not good. I agree with that. There's definitely room for improvement. I understand the idea of thinking it should be an action game, how it's presented. It's like kind of, but kind of not at the same time. It's definitely the more action focused. Let's see, what else were they saying? Like the spells, I understand that. Like the Blizzard spell has to like explode, kind of. I can understand how that could be frustrating.
I did not notice that. Limit breaks not connecting.
I never ran into that. I never missed a limit break, so I'm not sure about that. I don't even know you could miss a limit break. I'm not sure.
Oh, well, look at this.
I'm not trying to be like
dropping his limit breaks.
I didn't know that was possible, honestly.
100% success rate on those limit breaks. Feels good.
I'm curious what they mean by that. Like actually not hitting the enemy, or
or maybe anytime I got frustrated, I definitely got really frustrated with some of these fights. I was always just like, later on, it'd be like 5 hours later in the game, and I'd get better at the combat, and I'd be like, oh, you know what? I bet I would just destroy that section now. And like, I got better. The getting out of the last part before you get out of the sewer, and that last boss in the arena, I was like,
yeah, sure.
Woof. I understand it's not a full-on action game, but it has enough elements from action games to warrant a refined combat system. I just think the combat system's so unique and
yeah, I think the combat system is really good, but yeah, of course there's room for improvement.
Right. Restrictions the game imposes on the player. The limit break gauge can't be carried over from previous battles. That's true. The game determines when summons can be used. I think it's one of my least favorite things of Final Fantasy VII, just in general, is how the summons are implemented.
Sure.
And the game restricts the amount of certain materia. I didn't know that.
Like, what do you like? You can only get one type of materia per playthrough or something, or per.
I guess, yeah. These remove additional tools and freedom for the player and makes the game feel restrictive. Playing the game itself reminds me of the South Park episode Towley, where the boys acquire a new game console. All they want to do is play their brand spanking new state-of-the-art console, but are constantly prevented from playing by the plot elements. Just like the boys, in that chapter, there's so many occasions where I was thinking, I don't care, I just want to play. Chapter 8 is a prime example of this. The journey from the church to Aerith's house is dragged out. This is more evident when the chapter is replayed. Main issue with boss fights, the limit on the amount of damage you can impose on a boss per phase, stagger gauge resets at each phase, and cutscenes in the middle of a boss fight.
I don't think the cutscenes are that long, but
it didn't bother me.
But there's definitely room, I guess, they could totally implement a patch or something where you could just skip it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it didn't really bother me at all, but I can understand that.
I don't know, man. Going into a Final Fantasy game, going into a JRPG, and having the story like take giant pauses to tell me stuff, I was like, proceed.
Yeah.
I wasn't like,
what? I like the slow pace of kind of fleshing things out. Like that, I actually really appreciate a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not saying this is like a wrong statement. I'm just totally on the other end of it. That like I kind of like, I don't know. I kind of get a feeling of satisfaction when you do that like strong attack and then it starts a cutscene. You're just like, oh, I made it. Okay. I made it to the next phase. Yeah, I enjoy that stuff. I get to do a Tally impression though coming up. I'm excited about that. So a boss could be staggered and just about to take serious damage, but is saved by an animation where it transitions to another phase. This is a major gameplay offense. Regarding cutscenes in the middle of combat, the game might as well have Tally interrupt you and ask, "You want to get high?" It disconnects you from the game. I've never had a bug where I couldn't progress a boss fight because the cinematic for the next phase wouldn't trigger. Absolutely ridiculous game design. Yeah, I just don't have a...
Yeah, that doesn't bother me as much as it seems to bother them, because they're not very long either.
Yeah, I see chat saying unpopular opinions. That is the community showcase, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
We are here for it.
Hey, that's okay.
Yeah. Wait till you get, for everybody that has enjoyed Jason Sackle's takes on Death Stranding, he beat the game. He finished the game. So look forward to that coming up. All the Final Fantasy VII animosity will make way for a big dump onto Death Stranding.
I mean, I don't think that Final Fantasy VII Remake's perfect in any sense. But what I think it set out to do, it did very well.
All right. You wanna get high? The worst offender for me was Chapter 18, the fight against the Whisper Harbinger. This is one fight that's broken up into 5 battles, and each is dragged out by cutscenes which you can't skip. If you fail during this fight, you have to go through the whole lengthy sequence, wasting your time. All right, I see that. Ultimately, I don't hate the game, and I believe it redeems itself in the post-game VR battle. I want to enjoy it more, but the story, which is less important, constantly hampers the gameplay experience.
I think the story is very important in that game.
I think the story is extremely important.
I agree with like the cutscenes though. Like you should be able to skip those.
I would like to elaborate further, but have hit the word count. Hope you have a great day. Love and respect, Robert Lee.
But yeah,
we made it. We made it to the other end. Yeah, and especially going and playing 7 after the fact. And then being like, there's Jesse and Wedge and Biggs and moving on, and then remakes like, no, they're people. Here's all this other stuff that they're doing, a lot of other missions for you to get to know them and see how they operate, in different missions and get to know them because stuff's gonna happen, involving these characters, and we're gonna emotionally prepare you for that. And then going back to the original 7 and having them just coast through that part of the story, I definitely appreciated the extra time that we got to spend with those characters. But yeah, these are not the first unpopular opinions in this episode of the showcase, and they most certainly will not be the last. Oh boy, we got Stephen Beaumont and then Jason Sackles next. Hi allies, this is Stephen Beaumont. I do not have an amazing amount to share this month. My son and I beat Luigi's Mansion 3, and he has now been replaying the game and destroying all the bosses that gave him trouble before. The Great Game Debate Discord just concluded our discussion of The Last of Us, and although the majority of us hadn't played the game since release, and we even had one person on their first playthrough, the game resoundingly holds up. The only issues we seem to collectively have with the game is that the gameplay itself is serviceable, but we would have all liked to see an improvement in encounters and control schemes for the sequel. We pretty much go check out the preview. I just recorded with Michael Huber over the weekend. We pretty much chronologically went through the game's chapters in our discussion, and there was always something amazing to discuss, from the amazingly detailed characters to the gorgeous environments and the impeccable environmental storytelling. It was my first time going through Left Behind. Yeah, I've only played that once. I played that when I just recently replayed the remaster. 2 years ago. And boy, oh boy, did I get misty by the end. The start of the game also hits much harder as a parent compared to being ha ha ha, click, click, click. Sorry, everybody heard that. Get out of here, Slack. Why did I have Slack open?
Oh.
Get out of here, Slack. Start of the game also hits much harder as a parent compared to being a 24-year-old when I first played. It's hard to say that I am excited to play Part 2, especially at this time when the theme of the first game was love and Part 2's is hate, as there is kinda too much of that floating around at the moment. To everyone in America that's hurting at the moment, I love you, Black Lives Matter. Thank you, Steven. Yeah, it was like when we saw the direct and they replayed that guy like breaking that woman's arm. It was just like, I'm not looking forward to these parts. It's like, I think it's one of the issues too of like replaying The Last of Us is like gameplay fun, strategy fun, shooting fun, leveling up fun, but just like going through a lot of these like really tough to watch moments.
Yeah, it's a heavy game.
You go back and play the beginning of Last of Us, you're like, what am I doing to myself? Why am I putting myself through this? All right, here we go. Did you finish Death Stranding?
Yeah.
Okay, I did not. Jason Sackle did.
Is this spoilers that again?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Jason A. Sackle. So, I finished Death Stranding. The writing was terrible. Unfathomably, this is an actual line of dialogue. I brought you a metaphor. The whole ending cutscene for Chapter 9 is a masterpiece of tripe. The game had interesting ideas, but the dialogue is horrible. I would genuinely be excited if Kojima announced his next game, said he was working on the story concept, and that competent writers would be brought in. Whether it was him or one of the other 2 credited writers, can't write dialogue. If you need to say, I brought you a metaphor, it's because you failed to weave it into the story. The person even explains the metaphor. I'm still in disbelief that line was in something that wasn't a school project. The war flashback time paradox sequences were the best part of the game. I liked the story, again, not dialogue surrounding Mads Mikkelsen's character. I love that he doesn't remember the name of Mads Mikkelsen's character. I finished the game at the beginning of May, and honestly, I'm having a real hard time remembering it, but I know I at least enjoyed that. But he did finish it. I didn't finish it, and I was very much enjoying it. One of the things I did, though, was after beating the game, did another play session of just doing deliveries, to see if I liked the core game that was there without having to deal with the disdain I had for the main story. It was okay. I never once used the grenade things made from Sam's fluids or cut any of the umbilical cords, nor was I inclined to. Saw what it was like to sneak through a BT successfully. After doing so, the rest of the time decided to get caught and fight one of the big monsters, because at least that was fun. I did check out the Iron Man VR demo, which I have not checked out, but I definitely plan to check out the game at launch. It was neat. I had fun with it. Curious to see how it will review. Not sure if I will pick up the full game when it releases, mainly because The Last of Us Part 2 and Ghost of Tsushima are right around the corner. Looking forward to both of those games. I almost bit and got Grand Theft Auto 5 when it was free on Epic. Almost got him. Almost got him. But that would require me to create an account, and I'm not that invested. Never played or owned it, but whatever. I'm waiting for those Jason Sackle hot takes on GTA 5. If the next one is the same vibes as Vice City, though, I'll be all in. I also came across a jazz rendition of a bunch of Final Fantasy tracks, which was amazing. I never knew I needed a jazz version of You're Not Alone from 9, but it was fantastic. If they made a Final Fantasy game with a pure jazz soundtrack, I'd be down for it. Different genres mixed throughout, giving character to the various places and characters. The lively town could be Dixieland. The suspicious character could be a bit of swing bebop for battles. It'd be great. Something simple like that. I'm not a hard person to please. I disagree, Jason Sackle. Jason Sackle comes by the showcase and drops some spicy takes.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever disagreed with Jason Sackle harder than him saying, I am not a hard person to please. Woo! Yeah, that's where I take a stand, folks. I love it. Happy gaming. Greetings, allies, Brad and Jones. Last minute entry, but this month again marks a period of time that I've been struggling to find games to play that give me those good feelings. Given the current circumstances, it's become difficult to know how different titles will affect me emotionally, as some of the things that used to make me excited or happy now just make me sad or stressed. Just comes with the times. I definitely feel the stress. There's some things that I want to invest in. There's sometimes like Mafia 2, like there's sometimes where it's like, oh, I got an hour to play something. And it's like, well, I don't want to get like into the world and then feel like, well, I got to leave now. You know, it's like I want to have like a big chunk, a meaty chunk of time. And so, yeah, I definitely haven't, played some things because there's just necessarily an emotional investment because the story is emotional, but just like an investment to get absorbed in that world and then yank myself out of it. That's why I played dumb mobile games a lot. My brothers and I, all of us not very comfortable playing online multiplayer games, jumped in on a couple together. We tried Fortnite for the first time and decided it just wasn't fun for us. Same with the Call of Duty's Warzone. We picked up a few others, but just generally had trouble connecting through online. We all grew up playing single-player games together on a couch, so connecting online is daunting and often very stressful. Has anyone else had hurdles dealing with this, or is it just us? No, I used Battlefront 1. I played a ton with friends, and it just seemed like every time we had issues. You know, like getting into the same game or having connection issues with somebody's internet, or it was never easy for whenever we tried to do it. And as you can see, we've often had times with playing multiplayer games, playing crossplay stuff, playing, issues with internet during this pandemic. My girlfriend and I have been keeping things going locally with a couple of titles. I picked up a puzzle game called Degrees of Separation on sale for under $5, and it was a pretty charming time. I'm curious what console that was, maybe PC. Each person controls a character who separates the screen into a summer or winter time, and you need to work together to solve puzzles that make use of the individual seasons, like making use of how one person can walk on ice but can't go underwater, or how summertime activates air vents to fly on. It had around 5 worlds to go through, each around an hour, with pleasant music and a lot of optional puzzles, if you wanted to challenge yourself. Beyond that, I pulled out the PS2 and we started up Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance.
Oh man, yeah.
It was fun, but it had a few design decisions that were a little dated, so I surprised her with Diablo 3. I just love that. Diablo 3.
Yeah.
We both started that up together in co-op and have been loving it, of course. Sitting on the couch with somebody and just running through.
Super fun.
It's easy to jump in and beat up some dudes without feeling too much at stake. For a big RPG, for just myself, I've been struggling. I'm savoring Final Fantasy VII Remake, and so something on the side seemed tantalizing. I was eyeing Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, but I think I might go with Dragon Quest XI's. I had it on the PS4, but the music was just like nails on a chalkboard to me. Man. And it sapped so much of the enjoyment out of being in those awesome areas. It's a tough decision to double dip over something so minor, but the sound really was just ruining the experience for me. That and the Mega Man X Legacy Collection has been calling my name. I got to admit, I did play Dragon Quest XI on low volume. I think that was my solution to that. I just wasn't really focused on it. I played all of them except for 10-2 and that Mega Man X Legacy Collection has been calling my name. I played all of them except for X2 and X7 as they were coming out. And being able to jump in and blow some robot butt up to some metal tracks sounds like a very nice time. Anyways, stay safe and healthy, allies. Love and respect, Brian from Happy Gaming.
Nice.
Yeah, fun picks in there, especially with more Baldur's Gate news potentially coming this week. And I did play Dark Alliance. I think it was my only foray into the Baldur's Gate series. Yeah. John Koenig. Hey, Brandon and Brad. My Game Boy game is still going. Nice. Correct me if I'm wrong, John. I think John was like developing it and then was like, whoops, and then just like threw away all the work, started over. A little slow at the moment, but I'm making progress, so I'm happy about that. You can follow the game at https://John, Jon, -is-k .itch.io, so .itch.io/phenomenology, so like phenomenon-ology. And now, and again, you can get that link directly if you go to patreon.com/easyallies and look up the community showcase and look up the one for June 2020, along with everything else you're about to see. And we will at some point be getting into a lot of fun arts and photograph screenshots. Started Secret of Mana. The graphics and music are nice, the story is charming, and the combat is engaging. I have one major issue, though. This game may have the worst menus I have ever encountered. Instead of doing something normal and coherent with the menus, Secret of Mana has a ring you open with the face button and navigate with the D-pad, except it genuinely feels random what input opens what section of the menu. There's also the problem of different face buttons opening the menu for one of your characters, and if you want to equip something on a certain character, you have to make sure that character's menu is open. I suppose this was needed because of the co-op nature of the game, but I think they could have found a better way to implement it. Started Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and this game is everything good and bad about open world games. All right, here we go. Just so much to do, I always feel like I can just walk in a direction and find a quest. However, that means this game is extremely bloated, and a lot of side quests that are available to me seem pointless and cookie cutter. The world is also vast with countless towns, islands, and forests and mountains to explore. However, it is somehow still much too small, particularly the sea between the islands seems tiny. The fact that I can see a dozen islands and fleets of ships in every direction makes the Aegean feel more like a modest pond than a sea. Finally, the game provides you with numerous pieces of equipment to customize, to custom tailor your playstyle and appearance in a variety of ways. However, 99% of the equipment you get is trash and serves no purpose than to be sold or broken down, and since the game has a harsh leveling system, even the rare and unique items you find will become weak and near useless after an hour, requiring you to spend huge amounts of money and resources to upgrade and make them viable again. Finally, I put about 6 hours into Nier Automata, and dang, this game is wild. The game opened in a way I was not expecting and has just continued to surprise and baffle me at every corner, whether it's switch and gameplay mechanics, a bonkers boss, or a story reveal. Going by what I've heard about this game, this will only continue and escalate throughout the continued playthroughs. I truly don't know and can't guess what will happen. How wonderful, John, that you have not been spoiled about that stuff. I can't guess what will happen next, and I'm so excited about it. So there's my roughly 500-word ramble for this month. Until next time. Yeah, I can sense that stuff is bloated again. I'm just such an open world hog that just anytime I was like, question mark.
Yeah, sure.
To the hills, you know, like I definitely didn't mind that. But I can certainly sympathize with it. Thomas Lara, with our final just general comment before we jump into drawings. So let's make it count. Hey, I just wanted to thank you all for the streams these last very difficult months. Very appreciated. Talking about gaming, between Persona 5, beat the original and started Royal instantly, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Final Fantasy IX. How many times has Final Fantasy IX been brought up in the showcase? Woo. Spoiled.
Game.
And Xenoblade. These months have probably been the best ever for me. Swimming in tens. Amor y respeto desde Chile.
Nice.
Yeah, if those are your games, man, you are...
hell yeah, man.
How do you do that? How do you play like 4 JRPGs at the same time?
It's brutal.
You just get back and forth, back and forth. You know what? Amanda wanted to play Jackbox. Amanda and I are big Jackbox fans, and it was actually thanks to the Jackbox crew that had an article, because it was just the two of us, and I'm like, so many of these games aren't created for 2 people, and I was like, best Jackbox games for 2 people, and the Jackbox website totally had an article, and they were like, we get it. They're like, these are your 2-person games. Some of these are co-op, some of these are, obviously you don't know, Jack is a great 2-player game, but so it's fun to boot that up. But I brought in my PS4 from the garage, plug it into the TV in the living room, and then getting Jackbox set up, downloading all the games, and then Amanda's like, okay, I got to do this, I got to clean this up, and then I got to go put Milo to bed, and then we'll play Jackbox. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm just sitting on the couch with my PS4, and I'm like, boot up Maneater. I'm like, here we go. Just like, run around. Because what I didn't do on the stream was, after I got really big, I wanted to move on to a new area. I wanted to try to like get as much progress in the story as we could on the group stream. First thing I did is I was immediately back to that little tiny pond, and I'm just this giant shark, just can barely fit in each of the little creeks, just like some level 8 alligator, like,
it's nice. Revenge.
Yeah. And there's just something about not only group streams, not only playing in front of other allies, there's something about the like Discord group streams to have like 6 allies in my ear being like, use the sonar, Jones, use R3 to tag onto side. And I just start freaking out. I just get really frantic in combat. And I was able to really kind of slow down my mind when I was playing this time. And I think it was just better in general at the combat.
Yeah, definitely.
Just kind of puts you in a
Jones, I like miss stuff all the time if I'm streaming. Like I just I just miss it.
Puts you in a heightened emotional state.
Yeah.
When we're playing stuff that way in group streams.
Ice punch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, of course. That's like, 500 voices in my ear that I can tell. It's like, you're all judging me. I can't even hear you. I don't know what you're saying, but I know I'm doing this wrong. I know I'm being judged. All right, time to get into art. Brad, I'm going to share my screen here.
Okay.
So you can see what's going on. I'm going to share computer sound as well. Yeah, check it out. No, that's not the page you want to go to.
Drawings.
And then we all vanished. Where did we go, everybody? Where did we go? Hold on. We're coming back. And I want...
Relax, chat.
I want that. There we go. There we are. Yeah,
we're back.
Chat. My goodness. Chat just flipping. Calm down, everybody. There we go. All right. Thank you, everybody. Okay, here we go. Sarah Imshog, a.k.a. Zephyr Moon. Greetings, Brandon and Jones. Hope you're doing well. As for me, I finally finished storyboarding Chapter 2 of my webcomic and began work on it. Right now, it's just line art, as I like to switch up the steps every now and then, and to help keep things from feeling stale.
Okay.
And, yeah. There we go.
Oh.
Working on the comic. And for funsies, here's a preview from Chapter 2. I'll leave it to your imaginations on what they're talking about. Yeah. She's like really loving it, but he's not enjoying that conversation. I gotta admit, I'm curious. Let's see what chat has to say about that. Number 2. In other art news, I didn't get much work done because a lot of things were happening in my personal life. Don't worry, nothing serious. However, I did manage to get a few illustrations out for anime. Starting off with Ochaku Uraraka from My Hero Academia. It looks like Uraraka. I hope I got that right. Ochaku.
Don't worry, chat will correct you.
Yeah, of course. Love those boots.
Yeah.
And My Hero is there are lots of animes I need to watch, but My Hero I think is pretty much near the top. And ones that I've done.
Good effort, Jones.
Good effort. I'll take it. Sakura Kinomoto and Kiro from Card Captor Sakura. I'm currently working on another one and maybe 2 more by the end of June. And that's not the only thing I've been working on. A few times this month, I've actually been doing art streams where I'm just drawing while listening to music from my iPad Pro and just hanging out with chat. And here is Kiro from the same anime. Ba-doo. Thanks to those that showed up for the streams, and I hope to do more in the future. Hope everyone is staying safe out there, and wash your hands. Much love and respect. Sarah Imshog, a.k.a. Zephyr Moon. P.S. Hatake, Card Captor Sakura is better than Sailor Moon.
Oh, shit. Whoa, dude.
Yeah, there you go. I do not know the impact of that. I do know about Sailor Moon, but I don't know how people... Oh, some people are hurt. This one is Card Captor Sakura? They said they're both. Sakura Kinomoto and Kiro from Card Captor Sakura. So this one's not? Well, whatever. That third one wasn't? All right. I just do what I'm told. Jesse Abraham. Hey, Jones and Brad. Hope you're having a great day. Short recap of my sister's comic. Bazam. Cyan has found herself awoken in some kind of toxic liquid, not seeming to remember the deal with death she had made a few moments ago, and a young boy rushes in to warn her that she is in great danger. I threw in the last page. It's an animated PNG. I hope that works. It didn't for some reason. I don't know why. I did save it as a PNG, and it didn't. It worked when I first saw it, but it didn't work when I put it into here. Apologies. It's an extra. Feel free to disqualify it. I didn't. I took out the last page and put that in instead. But since the comic is going on hiatus until July 2020, it might be a while before there's another post. Thanks for reading. We love watching your takes. Bossman might have come on a bit strong, but still was hilarious and classic Bossman. Love and respect. So let's do... Who do you want to play? Do you want to play blue hair or brown hair?
I don't care. Whatever. Whoever has the least.
I don't know. Sure. I guess, yeah, I'll be the other guy. What? Oh, wow. That thing in your hands. That's a polyp. It's like a toxic tadpole. But it's all right. I can get you to a doctor. There's a town nearby. So I've been... Oh, then I think you say I've been here all day.
I've been here all day.
Huh?
Yep, all day.
That's not possible. Do you feel numb or burning?
I feel fine. Whoa, look at that. It's huge. It looks like a big mama polyp.
Yep. I don't know if its name is Grunt or it's making a grump. Mucus left behind for the polyp to swim and eat.
Must be toxic too, huh? I guess that's me.
Yes.
This should be fun then. Ah, finally. I love a challenge. Oi, over here, big mama!
Bringing it to life.
I think that's you.
I've never seen a grunt this angry. What are you doing? Oh, no. You should be running away by now.
I've got this.
No, you don't. Oh, no.
If this is the same thing as a polyp, then that pattern in the middle of the head is a soft spot. Boing.
Doing. Splash. Huh? Knocked out a grunt?
Another red star.
Oh, off in the distance there. And here's here's what should be animating as an animated GIF. To be continued.
Cool.
A bit of a cliffhanger there for y'all. But yeah, we ran through that pretty quickly. But if you want to check out the comic. Very, very fun. Lots of fun characters. And talk about, Nier Automata not knowing where the story is going. This is a very unpredictable story. I really love the accents on the dialogue. It's very expressive. The colors are really great as well. So kudos. Tell me that is coming along well. I look forward to the next update. Chum Nguyen.
Nice.
Hi, Brandon and Brad. Played through the original RE2.
Oh.
Still holds up.
Yeah.
Instead of playing a bunch of games, I was on a drawing spree for 2 weeks straight. So I watched 4.5 seasons of Suits. When the iron is hot, you gotta keep hitting it, am I right? So here's what came out of those 2 weeks. And these are fun because we have little alternate versions, so I am cheating just a little bit. But, yeah, this guy, it's not working out. I love there's like the brighter version too. It's like, ah! And Jim says, guess it's over for him. Too calm for the situation? I love it. Classic nose swipe. Sadly, a picture can't do a sound effect. The caption for this one really just kind of brings it home. Really clarifies just kind of specifically what's going on here. A tree.
Yeah. Very accurate.
Very accurate. He doesn't know what's coming for him, but it ain't gonna be pretty.
Oh no.
He's got the cuffs on too.
Yeah.
Yeah. This seems like is that an RE2 nod? That seems like
yeah,
a
that's
guy
RE2
in prison.
That's
he's got long hair though.
Well, that's like his original model more like from the original.
I thought he had long hair in the last one. I don't know.
In the remake, he looks different like that. Yeah.
Turn the light on. Ah! Love it.
Burger Bud.
Fast food. Original design on the can. Thirsty for some cloudy orange? Is cloudy orange a thing?
Yeah, I'll take some cloudy orange.
Yeah. Makes me hungry, man. I haven't had lunch yet. I enjoy drawing a person with their hair tied up. So yeah, there we go.
Nice.
That hair's tied up.
That's tied up.
And finally, trust medical experts for your sake and those around you. Stay safe. And this one has a lot of fun stages that I like to go through.
Oh, cool.
Boop, boop, boop. Different color, but I love seeing the examples of going to full color. Oh, lots of emotions going on in that one. And finally, boop. Yeah.
Oh, kitty.
Yep. Let's end this on a high note. A cat. Love and respect.
Yep. Always good.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Just everybody, just take in that cat. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Let's all just kind of almost like Thriller vibes, though. That's kind of like the look Michael Jackson does at the end of Thriller. Like,
yeah.
That cat's up to something. That's a human. It's a human in cat form. We know it.
Yeah, totally.
Wonderful. Nick Gothic. Bam. You know that game? Remember that game?
No, I never heard of it.
Hello, Brandon. Hello, Brad. This month hasn't been too good as far as drawings go, but since Brad is guesting this time, it's a great occasion to go text heavy, because we only have 2. See, Final Fantasy VII is my favorite game ever. Big surprise. I've beaten it 3 times previously in the late aughts. I was emulating the PSX version on my computer laptop since money's a big issue in my country, and though emulation back then was far from perfect, the game still had a lot of magic that was moving and felt deeply personal. I can't play the remake until we get a PC port, so instead, I'm replaying the original on an actual PS2 with the CRT, along with the Because retranslation mod, which makes it the closest to an authentic experience I could ever have. The retranslation is great and helps clarify a lot of things, even though I still think the original translation holds up just as well. I must admit, I was spurred to try out 7 because of Brandon's fantastic retrospective so many years ago. When I saw the game in action and how the camera would twirl and pan Matrix style, I was like, whoa, I need to try this out immediately. Partly it was also because I liked how low poly, the low poly style seemed very cartoony and colorful, and because I thought Cloud was pretty and appealing, had a giant sword, and looked like a true rebel on the cover. But the game's incredible storytelling is what stuck with me the most, and some of its most beautiful moments stick out with me in tiny in tiny and subtle moments. I love the way it begins with a slow zoom on a woman's mysterious smile and an eerie green glow. Who is she? I love the way Cloud and Aeris both burst into spontaneous laughter after she says, "You're terrible." I love the way Tifa stops, hesitates for a moment, and then takes a last look at Sector 7 before going where there is no turning back. I love how there's an hour-long hotel room scene where you do nothing but hear Cloud talk about his past. This sort of downtime is something that not even a lot of movies would dare to have, and yet here it is in a video game. That's brilliant. There are countless other powerful moments in this game that I want to gush about, but I won't because of spoilers, and I'm well sure Brad knows and feels the same emotions as I do. Cloud is a character I relate to a lot, and a true hero, and I think it'd be fun to celebrate the amazing-looking remake with a trip to Costa del Sol. This is why this is in the drawing section. Brandon, you must feel belittled since all of those people are talking 7 hype, but one day I'm going to sit down and take a long, hard look on 6, and you know what? I will love it. Well, if you don't, let me know. Let me respect Gothic. At ClownBoss on Twitter there.
Nice.
But I love everybody. I love the cheers is just like over that guy's butt cheeks in the corner there. I'm assuming that guy's wearing trunks, but you never know. Yeah. I haven't got to that part. I'm familiar with Costa del Sol, though, because it's also in Final Fantasy 14, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Costa del Sol, one of those things that pops up in different games. Wonderful drawings. Thank you, everybody.
Very nice.
And then I'm just going to do this.
Blah.
Oops, sorry. Yep, sorry. Everybody can hear that. Let me just add this to all of these sections so we don't have to do this again. Bam. And move on to screenshots. Asbo Zapruder, good afternoon, gentlemen. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to another Animal Crossing update. Oh. May turned out to be an eventful month for me. Boy, Asbo's playing this game like not a lot of people are playing this game. Hold on, let me actually load all of these first because this is a journey that we are about to go on. An emotional journey. All right. Number 1. It all started when I was cleaning out my basement and found an old photo of my great-grandmother performing on stage. This inspired me to perform in Tom Nook's Night of Creating Your Own Entertainment. Someone apparently really likes piano covers of They Might Be Giants songs because I got a big tip afterwards. Unfortunately, I lost it all and more at the racetrack. I was given the option to pay off debt as a debt collector, but soon found I didn't have the stomach for it. I thought I could get help at the museum, but I forgot about the camera. Aw. Got caught. No comment on the Zill, just an ellipses on this image. But I worked off my debt to society, and everything is fine now. Also, Elmer continues to be Elmer. That's all today. Stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you next month. Asbo Zapruder, a.k.a. Screaming Argonaut.
I love
it. I love those wacky neighbors. How is that jigsaw puzzle staying on that table? Look at that. That's defying gravity on the corner there. I love everybody's got that one weird neighbor. Amanda calls one of her neighbors Dolores because they remind her of the character from Westworld, and because the character keeps talking about like how like they can see the Matrix. This one Animal Crossing character, they get that they're in a video game. They get the world. And Amanda is like we all have to have at least one Animal Crossing character we're a little creeped out by.
Sure, yeah.
It's part of the experience. Master Pants. I love this. I love screenshots. I love getting a taste of what everybody is playing.
That was fun. I like that story.
This is a fascinating journey we're about to go on, Brad. Hi, Easy Allies. I like randomizing things, and recently, a new Xbox One firmware added a random game selection button.
Oh, interesting.
Missed that. So here are 9 not necessarily good or interesting screenshots from 9 random games taken on the mighty Xbox One X. Disclaimer, no X enhanced games were in this selection. So I'm going to bring up this first one, which I don't know. I don't know what these games are. And I'm actually curious to see if chat can guess what these games are. I know like 2 of these. But a lot of these are either just weird games or weird parts of games or Divinity? Yeah.
Maybe Divinity 1?
Maybe Divinity? Okay. It's Divinity. All right. Everybody called it. Here we go. I mean, it's Fallout Shelter.
Mm-hmm.
I can make the call on that one. And I love it's the microtransaction page.
Yeah, that's funny.
Go to the shop. The best part of Fallout Shelter. Fallout Shelter, a weird game to play on consoles. And I'm assuming this is some Street Fighter, but I don't know specifically what Street Fighter.
I think it's
super zoomed in.
Might be 4. I don't know.
It's a pretty grody cutscene there.
Yeah, it's 4.
All right, yeah. Street Fighter 4. It's got some grody cutscenes confirmed. All right. What in the world?
That's Doom.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, of course,
just
yeah,
by
because
the
that's
HUD,
it.
you can recognize
Like
it.
a squished.
Yeah. It's funny.
Cool. And I love how random these are. What's that?
I don't know what this is.
Like just slight Splatoon vibes just from looking
Yeah.
at it, but obviously it's not. And these two characters are doing like two very different things. Is this some kind of co-op multiplayer games or Monday Night Combat?
Monday Night Combat. Never
Apparently.
played it.
Looks like Super Monday Night Combat. Okay. Was that? Yeah, a lot of people are like, oh, Monday Night. Okay, great. Crazy. There you go. Shout out to Uncle Tully's.
Shout out.
I mean, a fishing game, obviously, but
Yeah.
like some
So imagine like
arcade,
Sega Bass Fishing Pro or something.
yeah, some like arcade port.
Yeah.
Sega Bass. Without a doubt, the first time Sega Bass has been brought up
Sega Bass.
on
Yeah.
the Easy Allies Community Showcase. Brad, aren't you glad you were here for Sega Bass?
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Oh.
An MX game, I'm assuming. It's like Days Gone. No, yeah, it's a racing game. I'm guessing by the arrows in the corner there.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I'm wondering this is just like MX versus ATV Unleashed or something. Curious why that guy's on fire. Wonder if that's something that the player caused, or there's some kind of accident,
Yeah.
or if people are just on fire in this game potentially. Stuntman,
Oh.
apparently, maybe, or that might just be a guest. Deadly Premonition vibes, yeah, maybe. What is this? Potentially
I don't
looks
know
like
what that
kind of Leisure Suit Larry vibes a little bit. Deponia.
Deponia.
Oh, okay. There you go. There's your answer, folks. And then this is something I'm curious about.
Western, yeah.
Yeah. Curious who we're playing at. Anybody know what this is in chat? Yeah, Brandon Jones the game. It's close. Curious. It's a Western game from Devolver. Oh, okay. Not sure what the name is. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, really cool. Yeah, just love that journey. Thank you for those screenshots. Time to move on to photographs. We just have one submission on photographs from Samo Rosman. Aloha, Brandon and Brad. Well, the first one's not a photograph. Let's get that out of the way. That's not a photograph.
Oh.
That's actually, I
Nice.
guess Mild Warcraft
Senkai,
spoilers.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
know Senkai.
Brad has intimate knowledge, and shout out to the guild there.
Mhm.
Aloha, Brandon and
Saw.
Brad. With all that's going on these days, I hope every ally is staying well and safe. It's been a while since I managed to complete one of these submissions in time. With my last one in March, it seems like my breaks are turning into a Fibonacci sequence. Since mid-March, I've been pretty much at home due to doctors' recommendations. Since my condition is an autoimmune disorder, it places me in the highest risk category. I do go out for walks late at night to keep fit and to get out of the apartment. Also, my friends and family have been helping me out with buying and dropping off the necessities, which is wonderful, for which I am forever grateful. Since I am unable to game much, I've been catching up on a bunch of shows I previously missed out on, as well as a bunch of new ones. I also rewatched all of the Clone Wars to get prepped for Season 7. I did manage to take down the last boss in the current WoW expansion.
Nice.
Even on the raid finder difficulty easiest, supposedly still took about a dozen wipes, a few hours, and a bunch of repair gold. Pick one. Also sharing the 2 builds I made from the previous Gundam build streams and a few months ago that happened during my last submission. Yeah.
Oh. Oh, man.
Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of emotions tied to that Lego piece. Like, you are the chosen one.
Yeah, that's like the hovercraft part.
And I
They're
immediately
fighting
like
in
went
the
Harry
lava.
Potter with this, but this is just this is just
Yeah,
classic.
this is cool, though.
This is the classic Lego Steam engine right there with the anniversary and everything. And lastly, the Lego I bought during May the 4th. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
That's so cool. I bet that's really fun to build.
That is cool.
Looking ahead, I'm really excited for the upcoming Summer Game Fest content starting on the 4th. There's a bunch of stuff I'm really interested in. Hopefully I can play it by the time it releases. As always, mahalo nui loa for everything you do. Love and respect. Samo Rosman, a.k.a. Namzor. At Namzor, specifically. And I'm going to go actually back to... let me... Hold on a second. Of course, we all went away. I'm going to steal that, and I'm going to bring it over here. Over here. Right? Is that here? Yes. Cool. From Jesse Blue. Link sent via Patreon direct message. I'm back, baby! And this is all just, I was going to resize our cameras for this, but this is just audio, so nothing to watch and no introduction. Take it away, Jesse Blue.
Hello, Jones and Brad. Greetings from the Midwest. Hello as well to chat and to any other allies that might be listening. I've missed you all so much while I've been trying to keep it all together during this, and I'm sorry I haven't been able to produce anything for the showcase these past couple of months. That's why this month I just wanted to give you a quick update on how things are going with me personally. You see, I have an accounting job in the medical industry, so I'm an essential worker, I guess, and I had been really stressing myself out working extra hours from home. Then they reduced our hours and pay. Then I was forced to go back into the office to work, which stressed me out even more because I have an immunocompromised family member. The stress was so much it triggered a string of cluster headache-type migraines. From mid-April to mid-May, I had stabbing eye pain and nausea for 18 out of 30 days, and because of my other medications, I can't take anything for the pain. Animal Crossing has been a big source of relief from the stress and the loneliness, if not from the pain. Shout out to It's Jess, I guess, for setting up the Discord that has kept so many of us connected. At least chatting on there and visiting people's islands, we have a sense of connection, sharing stories and sympathies along with our recipes and turnip prices. May 13th, I got a letter from my work saying not only did they put us back up to full time, but would pay us for our missed wages. This was a relief. To be completely honest, though, my biggest worry wasn't for myself. It was that I might have to reevaluate my pledge tier. You see, I bumped up to the shout-out tier in April when a slot opened up because I knew the combination of Kyle's leaving and people losing their income security due to COVID would cause some people to reduce their pledges, so I was hoping to lift it back up a little, because you guys really do deserve the support, for all the joy you've given me over the past year. I was originally only planning to be up there for a couple of months, but if I'm being completely truthful, I really do get quite a thrill every week when y'all say, shout out. On each of the podcasts, it's a little different, with every host giving it a personal flavor, so it really makes it feel special. I'm not ashamed to admit I want people to like me. Though I think you guys in chat would still like me even if I drop to a lower tier. Still, I think I'll stick around and see how it goes through the summer. Speaking of summer, my birthday is this Friday the 5th, and though I can't pass out Rice Krispie treats, I am having a party in Animal Crossing, and it will be amazing because KK Slider himself will be there for my birthday.
Yeah,
I will have my island open for friends for as much of the day as I can. And Jones, I didn't know if you'd seen a birthday celebration in Animal Crossing yet, but I thought I would personally extend the invitation. I've set my island up for the first annual Macavity Summer Extravaganza, so chat, allies, come one, come all. Last thing before I go, Brad, I want to tell you thank you from me personally. You do a great job calling out subs and resubs, answering questions, and just communicating with chat during the streams. When I hear my name or comment, it really does make me feel seen, and I appreciate it. Take care, fellas, and we'll get through this together. Love and respect, Jesse Blue.
Thanks, Jesse.
Good job, Brad.
Thank you.
Shout out to Brad's engagement in the community. It reminds me that a lot of people are going through health issues. Obviously, immunocompromisation, I guess, is definitely something to be concerned about, and people that just have contracted COVID. But it's just like stress leads to a whole crazy myriad of things, and I definitely, found myself in feeling stress or feeling repercussions of that, and being like, oh no, what's this weird feeling that I have? It's like, oh right, I'm just freaking out a little bit. I just need to meditate, and
definitely
all of that has definitely helped. But thank you for sharing that. And
yeah, thank you, Jesse.
Wonderful to hear your voice again, Jesse. All right, time to get into. Oh, and also we have. Let me remove that guy. Also, just our first, I believe, podcast excerpt on the community showcase from GIFW52. This is a double team because we have Mason Victoria is also a part of this as well. Hi, Jones and Brad. I hope you're all doing well. I'm joined by EZA community member Mason Victoria, Masonachu, Masonachu, on Maniacal Melodies, my weekly music discussion podcast. Here's a short expert for you to listen to. Please enjoy.
Does composing pieces of music, does that change the way you think of performing an instrument? Like, do you feel different about the trumpet or other instruments that you play? Do you feel differently about it ever since you started composing with it? Because I have to imagine performing it and writing music or writing the parts itself, they have to be very different experiences.
Absolutely. I would actually say that working on my composition made me a better performer than just doing performance for me would have done for me. Specifically because I was really lucky to be surrounded by incredible and amazing performers, and it was very intimidating. Extremely intimidating, actually, to the point where kind of like how my brother was like, you can't choose drums because it's my instrument. It was kind of like feeling like the world was saying, you can't be a performer because we're performers. And I'm like, dang, I got to figure out a way to work with these amazing people, but not feel so intimidated about it. Composing kind of reminds me of like the hyperbolic time chamber in Dragon Ball Z. Because you have this ability to just stop time and just look at what you're doing and place things on an instrument or on a thing to
I'm sorry. My brain goes immediately to tactical mode in Final Fantasy VII Remake, dude.
Yep. Yes. And I personally played, in addition to that, Final Fantasy 15 has a wait mode that's incredible too. And it just allows you to stop and just like think about everything. But yeah, definitely like tactical mode or ATB. And it just kind of freezes, and you have that time to be like, is this too high for the instrument? Is this too low? You think about your limitations once again, and you think about getting to places and all these really interesting things. And just kind of slowing down and being conscious of that allowed me to be able to work a little bit faster in a performer setting. And I think, spending that time in the hyperbolic time chamber just really, really helped that performance side of me. It's just a really neat way to look at performance.
So I love it talking about music creation and Dragon Ball.
Super fascinating.
And just super fascinating to hear allies, have a conversation, and definitely love to hear, Jesse also was talking about, people reaching out to each other in the Easy Allies, unofficial Animal Crossing Discord. So thank you to everybody managing that stuff. And, love to see those worlds collide. Adam Henschel's about to shred, man. Are you ready?
Oh, let's go, dude.
Hey, Brad and Brandon. For this month, I've taken Final Fantasy IX's main theme, Melodies of Life, and rearranged it for jazz guitar.
Cool.
The theme finds itself in much of IX's soundtrack, not the least of which is the game's overworld theme, Over the Hills, which provided plenty of inspiration for this recording as well. Hope you enjoy, Adam. And Adam rocks out pretty much on every single showcase. And I've gotten to know his room in his house or apartment very well. And I very much enjoy the change of scenery. Shout out to the change of scenery, Adam. Take it away.
That was so
that too,
good,
man. I know.
Good God, we have so many talented people.
It's out of control
in this community. Good Lord.
But just it's funny. I actually put this in a video for some reason.
Yeah, that was very good.
It was funny because I knew that's one of the songs I sang, at one of our concerts.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like hearing it. I'm like, wait a minute. Because actually I didn't, I see the link and I'm always curious when people post videos of, them just doing awesome stuff or playing music. I'm always like, especially if I recognize the name, I'm just like, what did you do this month? And so when he played that, I was like, wait a minute, I know that tune. Now for something completely different. This definitely put a smile on my face. From Matt Jura. My mom is on chemotherapy, so her immune system is compromised, and due to the pandemic, my 3 children can't visit. We decided to make a video for her, and the most reasonable thing we could think of was to cover the Season 1 opening to Legend of Galactic Heroes. The Season 1 opening to Legend of Galactic Heroes. This was our result.
Damn, dude, that was so awesome.
Y'all have been trying for years to get me into anime, and Brad,
that
did
was
it.
Fantastic.
That was it.
I love that, dude.
That broke me.
Yeah.
I had to,
so
and
good.
I know everybody in chat's like, well, I have to go dig up this show. What is this? And like, I totally went down that rabbit hole as well. I recommend you watch the original.
Oh, man.
And what a unique thing. I think that would turn around anyone's spirits.
I know, man. Good.
That's stuck in
Man,
a hospital
so
during these
good.
difficult times. I really just anytime you need just a little bit of joy in your life. Again, patreon.com/ECLS. The community showcase, June 2020. Go get it. Start your day with that every time. Karen Little. Hi, Jones and Brad, and allies around the globe. With a lot more free time on my hands recently, I've decided to finally start that YouTube channel I've always been talking about, and I'd love to share my most recent video with the community. I know Brad is a musician, and we all know Jones loves a good Western, so I think this is appropriate for this particular month. I decided to do a short medley of the Sunset Riders OST, trying to keep mostly with the spaghetti Western tropes, but dragging it a little to the left into the spirit of heavy metal. So raise those bull horns and please enjoy. P.S. I also make video game reviews, top 10s, and other content. I'm a new channel, but you guys inspire me to keep trucking. Thanks for all the inspiration over the years, all the way back to the GT days. I'll try to hold myself to the standard you guys set. Best in the biz. Love and respect. Kieran, aka Mr. Cone Man. Mr. Cone Man, you melt my face with this track. It's so good. It's so good. just getting started, baby. We're just getting started. That goes on for another 2 minutes. We do have a 3-minute cutoff.
That was sick.
I hate to cut that early. Oh,
man, that was so good.
So good. And obviously, again, you can rewatch and re-listen to a lot of these things, and obviously check out Kieran's channel. Feel free to share that in chat.
Damn.
Yeah.
I'm so blown away by everybody.
Well, the hits keep on coming. Kevin Gillet, hello, Brandon and Brad. My life still consists mostly of Animal Crossing and Final Fantasy VII Remake done, now probably 2/3 of the way through the original, which I've never finished. Seems like a lot of people are in that boat. A lot of people are going back. Though these two have recently been joined by Xenoblade, short COVID nudes. France is slowly getting out of isolation, and limits on travel distance will be gone the day after the showcase, which means I'll finally be able to see my family again very soon. Stay safe, everybody, and I hope the situation can be better as soon as possible wherever you are. Now for my submission. As teased last month, I returned to a reimagining of a KK song in the same vein as one I shared here many months ago for KK Western. The formula is this. I use the full, longer melody KK gives during the live versions, but I rework the instrumentation to be similar to the shorter radio versions, and then I try to make it sound grander than the intentionally quaint sounds that are used in the game. This time, my attention is turned to Animal Crossing's homage to film music, KK Adventure. Love and respect, Kevin Gillet. I definitely get F-Zero vibes from this track as well. But and yeah, there's Kevin. Yeah, this rules. This is one of my favorite tracks in the whole game. This was in my living room for a very long time. Star Wars in there.
Yeah.
Kevin confirming the asteroid field Star Wars nod in there. Just like sounds. It's so funny
sure,
that even just like two notes of something, wait,
yeah,
and like your brain expects that third note to happen.
Man,
so cool.
So
that's
good.
That's the vibe I wanted in my living room in Animal Crossing for sure. Thank you very much for that.
Wow. Jeez.
Kicking it off with our final category, just videos. Michelle Jackson, hello allies. To be quite honest, it's been a rough month, and I didn't get as much done with as much game dev stuff as I would have liked. So instead of a dev update, I brought a time lapse of a fashion piece I made for Mermay. For BG Music, I picked 3 of the more chill songs I've made for Unusuals, the game that Michelle's working on. I feel a flashing light warning is probably appropriate as the video's been sped up quite a bit. So yeah, this is a very busy video, but I very much enjoy watching it. And I always love watching people draw because it's something that I cannot do. So take it away, Michelle. So cool seeing the process.
Super rad.
As somebody who's just gosh darn terrible at all that stuff. And I think my 2 favorite things that I liked about it were the like kind of like the mermaid pattern, but like the shell pattern that was on like a vest or something. I don't know if that was like a belt or just like around her midsection, and seeing that you literally just took a bunch of different colors, just went and then just deleted the edges. So it's like, oh, of course, like that's how you would do
the steps.
If you had some kind of a crazy pattern you wanted to do on a shirt, you could just kind of like paint outside the lines and then just erase it so it would fit within. And I loved the necklace like do-over, like. They had kind of like the like purple sashes or something crossing over the chest, and then initially put like all the little beads of light in line with that, and then I'm like, nah. I took that out and put something else in. Whenever I watch like time lapse of art, I love seeing like something happen and then it's almost done and then gone.
Yeah, just change it.
Didn't work. Don't like it. really neat seeing that stuff go super fast. Alexander Zirianov, apologies for the bad VO. Enable subtitles if necessary. I refuse.
Oh,
I love, if this is you, Alexander, I love your accent. I love how detailed you are in describing this. And apologies to people who might miss a word or two. Again, if you want to enable subtitles for yourself, you can go and check this out on our Patreon page. But I very much enjoyed this video. Thank you for sending it. Take it away.
Developed by Beard Envy, a 3-man studio, Filament is a puzzle game with a sizable bit of story and exploration. It proudly shows that even a few men can rival giant corporations when they have smart idea and not afraid to act upon it.
I've heard it's a sign of intelligence, but honestly, if that were true, I probably wouldn't be stuck in this damn cockpit.
You arrive to the Alabaster, a research station in the far corner of known space. Juniper, the last remaining human on the vessel, asks you to solve various puzzles to clear lockdown and rescue her from the bridge she's currently trapped in. After completing tutorial puzzle, you're free to explore and tackle objectives in any order you like. Non-linear storytelling isn't perfect here. It's easy to uncover most of the story before the middle of the game, and many email logs have duplicate messages. On the other hand, it's nice that you don't need to turn every stone to get the plot, and since many events are open to interpretation, it may be worthwhile to revisit something you're familiar with.
Oh, suddenly I find myself filled with regret, dreaming of what could have been.
While storytelling has its flaws, puzzles are nearly perfect. The core idea is incredibly simple. Your little robot must activate every puzzle element with its filament before reaching the exit. Each series of puzzles adds something new to keep things fresh and interesting, like requiring certain order or adding colors to the mix. Several individual puzzles even have unique mechanics that don't appear anywhere else. This may sound overwhelming, but the game always introduces new ideas with simple tutorial puzzles, which can be solved and understood by trying stuff out. Reset, rewind, and quick movement speed reduces answer input time to the minimum, which further encourages experimentation. And if you get stuck, you can always try something else, since only a certain number of puzzles must be solved to finish the game.
The amount of coffee consumed here is unfathomable.
The space station isn't big, but there's a lot to explore. Each room has a purpose, and you often see traces of events you've read or heard about. Warm colors and a calm soundtrack welcome you to stop and absorb the atmosphere of this home away from home. Paying attention to your surroundings is also necessary if you want to find every hidden passcode and unlock additional lore. Some of these codes are obvious, while others may take hours to find or decrypt, adding extra layer of challenge for those who want it.
Well, it took a few weeks, but I finally came out on top. It felt amazing!
Filament is an open-world puzzle game about drawing lines. The premise reminds The Witness, and just like 2016 classic, Filament feels fresh, exciting, smart, and incredibly rewarding. If you have any interest in puzzle games, this is a must-play.
Sounds great. Right?
There
It's
you
a
go.
great review, man.
Yeah, review, baby.
I love
Look
it.
at
Yeah.
Hell
yeah,
yeah.
I love the pace of it. I thought that was just the right amount of length for to explain yourself, and I thought the script was fantastic. Thank you. Yeah, super dug it. And boy, don't know if I'm gonna make time for that game, but I think that's something I might pass that on to Amanda. I think that's something that she might
sure.
really enjoy. Benny Samuelson, hi Jonesy and Bradley. I spent the last few weeks making a trailer for Random Raiders, the guild management sim I showed screenshots for on the showcase several months ago. Me and Max, who makes the game, decided to join the Steam Game Festival, which some of you know is part of Keighley's Summer Game Fest. It basically means there will be a playable demo available June 9th on PC for all to play, and this is the trailer for the event. Ooh. I'd love to hear your quick thoughts on the trailer and the game idea in general, and if you have any quick, fun MMO guild stories that we could be inspired by. The game is more about the experience of running and being in a guild rather than playing the fictional MMO game. This is something like the third real trailer I've made for a game, and it took a couple of weeks to put together, testing and fixing a recordable build, recording gameplay, editing, exporting, and general YouTube razzmatazz. Hope you all enjoy. Benny and Max. Yay, fun.
That looks fun, dude.
Yeah, I love the premise. The music transition was a little weird through there. I maybe would do that like right at the logo at the end. And we kind of knew what was going on beforehand, but the finding out kind of what the structure of the game was. I mean, that's something that like maybe work better at the beginning of the video. I don't know, but I ain't gonna shake that up. That video is ready to go, and I think the video sells itself for the type of game that we're looking at. But any potential guild stories, Brad, that you can share that might resonate
for guilds like that I played in? It was mostly me with my friends. I don't really recall, at least for very long, being in like a guild with a bunch of strangers, so I don't have a ton. Like I didn't do like the only time I did raiding in like a guild was Classic WoW or when it originally came out, but I haven't really done anything like that since. I know you did some more on like Wrath of the Lich King and stuff.
Oh sure, that was like the height of it. Yeah, I wonder if one thing that would be interesting to convey in the trailer, one question that I would have about the game is like, how long does like a campaign take? Is this the kind of thing where like I'm gonna pick one and then I'm gonna be with this party for the duration of the game, or is this the type of thing where it's like I would play for a little bit and then be like, okay, this went horribly, let me start over, and like, or I would want to start over because it's like I just want to torture these people this time, or like I really want to do well, or I just kind of want to get the quote unquote the best ending because I want to like take time and actually like keep their spirits up. One thing that I definitely have dealt with in tabletop campaigns and MMO campaigns is the issues that one gets into when people are in relationships that are already established before you get into the game. That can potentially be an issue. So that would be fun if like people meet in the guild and then become boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever, and then break up. And then you have to deal with that one person, or you have to plan them being in the guild at different nights because they won't raid together. But I guess that just kind of factors into just general disagreements that you have. But yeah, relationship drama. It's fun. It's a really fun premise for a game, but like I got to admit, I was stressed watching that. So just like,
yeah, I was thinking about, man, I wouldn't want to do that in real life.
All the worst memories, and it reminded me of all the reasons that I will never ever run a guild, with the exception of my guild in Galaxy of Heroes, which is pretty low stress. From Stomps. Hey there, everybody. Stomps here, a showcase first timer. Welcome, Stomps.
Welcome.
Y'all are a very good pocket of the internet that I'm grateful to support. The following video I'm about to share is not that. It's to promote a very gooby challenge I've been working on called Loopy Tunes Live, where we create comedic live loops and bits on Omegle, Omegle, and someday YouTube Live. The channel has become a place to house some of our wackier musical projects, and it's been a lot of fun throwing them together. After all, making serious music all the time is a drag. So without further ado, I present Game Squad Alpha's Neon Warriors.
Oh.
Good vibes. Good vibes. I like it.
Arcade, baby.
Yeah. Make me miss arcades, man.
I know, dude. I was just thinking that.
It hurts.
Oh,
I really loved the like whack-a-mole, or like the how hard can you hit with the light up column.
Yeah.
I've never seen that before.
yeah, that's sick. Air hockey too.
Cool.
Miss
Yeah.
air hockey.
Please bring in those musical loops in, especially if they show off badass arcade footage. So at least I can live vicariously through all of you whenever it was that you shot that. Alex Stories. Hello, allies. Longtime watcher, first time posting. What you are about to watch is a highlights video from a 7-hour live stream where I played the 26 demos that were available on stream for the Ludo Naricon. I also want to thank you, Brandon and Brad, and to as as you and the rest of the allies inspired me to try streaming seriously. So give me a follow on Twitch and Mixer at Alex Stories to get some fun game streams, and I, as always, will see you in every group stream and Q&A comment section with some funny highlights. 7-hour live stream where you play the 26 demos. All right, here we go.
We're trying not to die. Let me see. Okay, first of all, I want to know if I die if I step in this puddle, okay?
What is this game?
I like
You're missing
testing
some
like that.
context here. Okay, so I think we're this guy, or are we somebody looking at this guy? I don't know. Got a partner here? Oh my god, okay, here we go. Now we're 2 people. So I'm guessing, yeah. I guess she's a woman. If not, my bad. Moving on. Okay, Lady Love dies. Watch from... Oh, crap, my bad. No music. There was no music this whole time. My bad. Watch from Exile. Indeed. There's some sexy sax going on. Idle Lands. SH Island. Ooh. I mean, this is not a bad environment, I gotta say. I mean, a little bit too much purple skulls. You know? Just a little... Just a smidge. At least. Okay, and we got this thing. Okay, what is going on, guys? I feel like I'm going crazy. Somebody left. Somebody's like, what the... Okay, I'm gone. We got music. Ooh! Oh! Oh! We just found gold here. One at a time. Breeze with you. You know what? I would get late to this. This is some good song. I want to breeze with you. Come on now. What's up with that? Oh!
Spoilers. I love the genuine surprise on his face. He was not expecting that.
Yes! Man, we're playing this till the end. This is the last thing we're doing. Oof. Oh my god, are you literally gonna make me jump into the... Oh my god, look at this. Actually, this is a pretty cool angle. You got like a pyramid up here, you got some like... Anyway. You got that weird tower. Okay, you guys ready? This is it. I think we're gonna end on this. 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah!
What game is this?
I wouldn't dance like this if this beat wasn't here. Okay, that's it. Paradise Killer.
What a bunch of weird games.
Yeah.
What a stream.
Nice.
I bet that stream was an emotional roller coaster.
Mm-hmm.
David Cleland. Hi, Brad and Brandon. As predicted, I haven't made significant enough progress on my Mega Man animation to update you on that, which is a shame since it was just a disembodied head the last time Brad saw it, and it's become a fair bit since then. I've also looked it up, and that post was from April last year. Wow, I really need to knuckle down and get this thing finished. So I thought this month I'd just show a little animation I made a few years ago. I will just drop this while I'm talking about it. It's not super relevant, but it has an NES in it. Till next time, love and respect, Dave Cleland.
Cool.
So this is Stranger Things for the NES. It's
It's like 11 in the TV.
Yeah, so I guess that's 11 trying to get through the TV.
Yeah.
So I've just looped this a bunch of times because that's it. It's just a
Man,
short
this
animation.
NES on the floor with that TV definitely reminds me growing up playing in the NES.
I love her powering up the NES, but I also like that the NES light comes whenever she tries to get in. The NES lights up. Creepy, creepy. One more time for the fans. Good stuff.
Sick.
Shout out to Yoko Taro. Hey, Brandon Jones. Oh, hey, Brad and Jones. I hope you are well. Please look at this poorly made video I made about a game that I kind of liked.
Cool.
I think the game is cool. I think the video is cool. I will not have any negativity about the things you create. Shout out to Yoko Taro. I won't stand for it.
Fractured Space was developed by Edgecase Games before they were purchased by World of Tanks developer and publisher Wargaming. Development on this free-to-play game ceased in October 2018. The gameplay relies on the theoretical mechanism of folding space-time referred to as a jump to travel between different sectors of the environment. While preparing for a jump, your ship takes double damage, so it's best to make sure you're in the clear first. Like many competitive games, each ship is associated with a role of attacker, tank, or support. Ships like the Persecutor and Hunter are able to perform short-range blinks to maintain pressure on their targets. One of my personal favorites, the Reaper, has a scythe beam which scrapes away an enemy's armor plating.
Oh yeah.
There's also the Ranger, which is a lightly armored ship perfect for picking up enemies from a cozy distance. For those who prefer to surprise their prey, there are several ships with cloaking devices, such as the Black Widow, Ghost, and Basilisk. The Black Widow in particular launches multiple volleys of rockets and missiles which tear through armor. Ships like the Ranger and Pioneer have special abilities for decloaking these thorny rogues. The last ship I would like to present is the Enforcer, a no-nonsense hot rod with a Gatling cannon, which fires infrequently because it empties its cannon's chambers all at once. Ultimately, a match is won after resource mines are held long enough for one team to overpower the other and infiltrate their enemy's base. Similar to Battlefield's Conquest mode, space battles featuring mountains of metal hurling munitions across the vacuum of space as you might see in Battlestar Galactica or Super Dimension Fortress Macross have always held a special place in my heart. Which is why Fractured Space deserves a shout out.
Dude, that game looks crazy.
Yeah, man, that was a lot of footage too.
Yeah.
Yeah, across just a lot of different parts of that game. I thought you did a really good job.
Yeah, nice job.
I thought your tone actually really kind of fit. You know, that's the mood of what was going on. Thank you very much for that. Our final video coming in from Ian Alexander, Tabletop Escapade vibes. Everybody, get ready. Greetings, Brandon and Brad. This month, I am submitting a clip from the D&D series I've been making with my family and friends. If anyone wants to watch the whole thing, check out the playlist on my channel, Alexander Arts, on YouTube. And this is a very funny moment.
No.
All right, so that's the end of that combat. Next is Linea's turn.
So I move first, and then I'll try to attack.
Okay, so if you move 25 feet, you won't be able to hit him. You'll be about there.
I can throw my Morning Star.
You could, but that's not a throwing weapon.
Okay.
But that guy's almost dead, right?
I mean, he looks like he's about dead. Yeah, he doesn't look very good. If you want to try to throw your Morning Star, you can do it. It's just I'm just telling you that's not what a Morning Star is normally used for.
Yeah.
So that would be an improvised attack, which has its own thing. You want to try that?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. This is a crazy attack, but yeah, +3 for your strengths. Whoa! She got a natural 20.
Oh my god!
I'm so awesome.
Yeah, that was a lucky roll there.
Way to go, Jen.
That's so crazy.
That would be so badass in a movie.
She's a badass elf.
She swings it.
She's a dwarf.
I think that's the perfect swinging through the air and hits him in the back of the head and sends him sprawling on the street and in an explosion of pink.
Ooh.
Okay, there's a possibility that she can not kill him. So let's roll the damage.
What?
So improvised weapons do significantly less damage because you're not supposed to use it that way. So it's a 1d4, but because you got a crit, it's times 2 whatever you roll. So go ahead. 6. So he had 3 hit points. So
I kill him.
You kill him. So she swings her morning star around her head and hurls it up in the air. It spins end over end and lands right on top of his head and smashes him down to the floor. And his head explodes into the dusty dirt road.
Yeah, and the blood slowly trickles down his neck.
Whoa. Patricia's getting bloodthirsty.
Yes.
That was awesome.
And I do have, I did get your submission. Matt Bolenbach is reminding me that I did get your submission. And what did I?
Those nat 20s, dude.
Yeah.
That definitely reminds me of tabletop escapade.
Let me go to my messages because I totally got it. Yes. It's just the it is just the submission itself. So, Brad, you will enjoy this. This is a wonderful way to sunset this, man. This is a wonderful way to take us out. Thank you, Matt Bolenbach, for this. Strolling.
Using one of my favorite weapons in that game.
Ooh.
Baldur side sword. Good pick.
I love for the presentation of Souls as a walking simulator. That was really great. Just the casual side.
Jones, whenever we get back to the studio, we should do Brandon Plays Dark Souls. Finally, make it happen, man.
All right. I have played that Dark Souls there. And some people were reaching out to us, just didn't play the whole thing.
Yeah, you gotta play the whole thing, baby.
Yeah, but the whole thing, man. Because that's what I love to do, is show, how bad I am at games. Live for everyone to watch.
That's what people love.
I'd much rather have people send in video and music and for us to enjoy that. This has been the Easy Allies Community Showcase. Spencer from Canada wrote, "Please don't disappear," but did not leave a post in time. Eric Jackson, who I just scrolling back through the Patreon post, noticed that we did get the post officially, Eric, but it was past the deadline. And Ben Fitter reserved a spot, but did not drop anything. And then I think I saw a couple other names show up. But again, there is a hard deadline. I do put that up. It is midnight the night before we do the showcase. And I'm going to be reaching out. I will let people know ASAP if who is on. I don't have that name prepared. Sorry, I usually do. But who is going to be on the next community showcase? I will reach out to that person and confirm that for everybody on Cuppa Jones and social media. Make sure to communicate that as far away from the next showcase as possible, because people like to have stuff prepared. I had a nice little piece of Dark Souls music there for Brad. And thank you to everybody for just watching it. Thank you to everybody for tuning in after the fact. Again, if you would like to be a part of this, if you'd like to be a part of Easy Allies, you can just give us a sub here on Twitch or, sub to our channel on YouTube, or go to patreon.com/Easy Allies. There's lots of other ways you can get involved there. And $10 and above gets you involved in the community showcase if you choose to. At the end of every month, about a week before the end of the month, I will put up a post accepting submissions. And then a week later, I will sit down with one ally. That ally changes every month. We will go through all of this stuff. But most of the time you get me. Brad will not be in the seat the next time, but you might be inspired to check in with whoever else is what that next person will be. I have a feeling it's Michael Damiani, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
But don't quote me on that. But yeah, so lots of love going out to everybody that watched, everybody that subbed and resubbed. Thank you to our mods. Thank you to everybody, obviously, that wrote a long, lengthy, opinionated comment. Lots of salty thoughts going around on Death Stranding and Final Fantasy VII Remake in this video. But of course, thank you very much to Brad Ellis, everybody.
Oh, thank you, everybody, for contributing. That was super fun.
And taking all this stuff in.
Y'all are talented.
Yeah, I can stop this screen share now too. There you go. Right. Yeah, and we will be doing more streams and stuff this week. Unfortunately, we're not reacting to that PlayStation 5 thing because they just postponed that. We will be reacting to that whenever it happens. But there's other big things happening this Saturday. Other big announcements that will be happening throughout the week, and other fun things to check out on our Twitch channel. And I just resized that. Let me just resize this before we go out, so everybody can enjoy his full frame. There we go.
Full frame.
This is Brad Ellis. I am Brandon Jones. We couldn't do this without the wonderful contributions from our wonderful community. It's really fun watching all this stuff in the showcase every month, and I look forward to next month. Be safe, everybody. I hope you are well in your corner of the world, and I will see you again later. Bye-bye.